and a very warm welcome to Crafters TV. Welcome to the next of our craft alongs today here on Crafters TV, and we have got an absolute corker of a craft along lined up for you guys at home. It's all about die cutting, so I know it's going to be absolutely brilliant for you guys. If you're brand new to die cutting, we're going to hold your hand, we're going to step you through all the key sort of parts of die cutting, start to finish, creating the most gorgeous project. But for this craft along, I'm on this side of the studio for makes a little bit of a change, but we have got a very, very talented lady. She was here on Wake Up Call. She's here all day, providing you with lots and lots of inspiration as part of this craft along here. She's got the most gorgeous project that I cannot wait to see come to life. It is, of course, the lovely, the incredibly talented, the one and only. It's our Debbie Robinson.
Thank
Good
you
afternoon,
very much,
Debbie.
Lily. That was very kind of you. Apologies if you heard noises just while Lily were doing that lovely introduction. I literally was moving things, but it did sound quite weird, is all I'm going to say. So yes, so apologies there with the mics, just in case you didn't hear anything. Right, number 2 craft along for me today, and I'm really excited about this one. I love die cutting, and although it's a craft along, I want you to remember this is an interactive channel, and if there's anything you want to ask, anything about die cutting, please ask. Let the social team know. The social team will pass it all through to our Lily, and Lily will pass it on to me. Because seriously, I want you to get the most out of your crafting when it comes to your die cutting. Now, we've got lots of lovely things on the show, and you're probably thinking, what is it that I'm doing? Well, I thought I'd change it up slightly with a scrapbook page. I love scrapbooking. I'm just going to put it out there right now. I love doing layouts. I love doing combining beautiful papers with a mixture of our dyes, and of course making these into a more personalised scrapbook page, and this time focusing on our lovely Sarah and of course our lovely Debbie Fisher. If I could have, I would have had hearts everywhere with everybody's picture in there. However, you could do this, repeat this, and you could have a nice whole scrapbook of the same kind of thing, just with different pictures in there. So this is what we're going to be doing in our craft, because obviously it's craft along, so it's real-time crafting, and we're going to start that project from start to finish. I mean, Lily, I don't know if you saw this morning, but I literally, me being a right clever clogs, oh yes, we'll get it done in 2 hours. I was on the skin of my teeth in the last few minutes to get it done. However, I promise you we'll try and get this as much, if not completely completed, but yeah, using some of our old dyes with new dyes. Thought I'd mix it up a little bit with some of our beautiful papers as well.
I love that project, Debbie. That is absolutely stunning. She's used some of my favourite new dyes, those gorgeous lace netting dyes. She's used some of my favourite papers as well, those ultimate paper pads. And she's created the most gorgeous scrapbook page. So I'm really looking forward to seeing that absolutely come to life and seeing all those stages. Now, like Debbie has said, it's all about that interactivity. It's all about getting those questions in for you guys at home, not just the comments, but any sort of questions that you've got when it comes to die cutting. Make sure you fire those across in the comments. I'll get them over to Debbie and she will answer them perfectly. I know she will. It's our Debbie. She knows so much about die cutting. She has got the answer to all of your questions when it comes to those die cutting woes. So get those over in the comments and we will answer those throughout the course of the show. Now, we're talking about die cutting, of course. This craft along, the theme is die cutting. So in order to do a little bit of die cutting, not only do you need your dies, you're also going to need a die cutting machine as well. We've just brought those details in onto your screen for our Gemini 2 die cutting machine. Now, if you've never seen this before, oh my goodness me, this is the latest and the greatest machine that we've brought to you as part of our Gemini range here at Crafters Companion. This is got the unrivaled pressure when it comes to your die cutting. You've got edge-to-edge pressure across that US letter or A4 size plates. So that means you can cut your larger dies as well as your smaller dies as well, giving it so much versatility with all of your die cutting needs. But it's not just about die cutting, it's about embossing as well, because you can emboss your dies, your stencils and your embossing folders through this incredible machine. Now, I did mention the pressure, and that is what makes this machine, in our humble opinion, but I think that you guys at home, so many of you agree with us, it is the best machine on the market when it comes to your die cutting. You've got that high pressure edge to edge, so you know, even if you're using super intricate dies, maybe even the dies of the future, because let's be honest, the way die cutting is going, it's only getting more and more detail with those beautiful intricate dies. You know that it's going to handle those intricate dies with ease. No need to shim up, to rotate that die around to try and get the perfect crisp cut. You've got that beautiful pressure edge to edge with this amazing die cutting machine. Now, when it comes to our Gemini 2, It's sort of like a little bit of an upgrade, if you like, compared to that original Gemini machine. So of course you've still got that superb pressure. The pressure has not changed, but we've added on some more modern features, if you like. So if you've got your USB charging points, you've got your storage compartments on there as well. You have got all of those fantastic features, which means crafting with your Gemini 2 is even better, which is absolutely fantastic. You'll see this featured day in, day out on our Crafters TV shows. I absolutely love it. It's the one I use every single day in my craft room at home, as well as when I'm crafting on the shows here. But I know a lady who is super passionate about this machine, just as much as I am. Debbie, what do you love about this amazing machine?
Well, you've said it all. To be fair, it is the best. I know, because I've used lots of different machines over my time in crafting, and that is a long time, shall we say. But it is, of course, down to that performance, to that precision cut, to literally everything you want from a die cutting machine, and embossing as well, and not just in paper crafting, in the world of soft crafts, in the world of your multimedia, mixed media. You know, Jan loves mixed media, those kind of things. It's one of those machines that never lets you down. It's never, ever let me down. And before the G2 came out, and I'll tell you, I still own the original Gemini with the 2-point pin at the back, not the 3 one, the 2-point pin at the back. Never let me down. I've had years of use out of it. So it's honestly, we call it the 3 Ps, but I'm trying to remember the 3 Ps now, because it's the performance, the power, and the precision cut. There we go. I remember the 3 Ps all of a sudden.
Get you were.
But seriously, I can promise you, and I said this morning, you cut me in half and you'll see Crafters purple blood running through my veins, but you would also read Gemini, 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 because I can stand here and tell you all, whether you've got a mini, a midi, a Go, a Junior, original, a Pro, or the G2, I can tell you right now, I love these machines. I will never use any other machines ever again. Big bold statement, but it's true, because in the whole time I've been crafting, especially in die cutting, I've never ever experienced anything that it hasn't been able to do, and that's saying something in the world of the technology that we've got right now. So for me, it's an absolutely fabulous machine, but ask away, because I'm not fearful of answering any questions when it comes to this Gemini. Now, shall we do the other part? Shall we talk about what you need for this craft along? Because did you see how smooth a word there?
I know.
Did you see how smooth a word
Get
there?
you, eh? Wow.
Super smooth. I'll give you the ingredients, the things that you're going to need. Now, I say that things you're going to need. If there's things in here you haven't got, you will be able to take something from your crafty stash and use in this scrapbook page. Now, I've used our lace nesting dies. So these are Lily's. I mean, she'll tell you they're one of her favourite new dies. And I've used 2 from there, which is the lace doily frame and the swirling hearts frame. I thought it was very apt for the kind of project that I was doing. We've got a lovely, and I'm going to be totally honest with you, super surprised to see we'd still got these Edgeables, the Grand Edgeables.
You and me both.
Yeah, which is the balloon flowers I've used on this one of my favourites. And if you ask Ben, he'll tell you the same, it's one of his as well. I've used Forever Friends Swoosh Sentiment dies. I love those. I think there's still some available. I'm not sure how many are left, but you can go ahead and shop the show. I've used the Floral Elegance, the new decoupage pad, just for that little bit of extra embellishment. And then, of course, I'm going to make no apologies, Botanic Garden Rainbow Pearl 12x12 pads. That's the plain and the patterned cardstock, which is just exquisite, especially when you come into a special project like a scrapbook page. Additional items that you're going to need, of course, multi-purpose cardstock will always feature in this one. Gemini 2. Why ever not would I not be using this when it comes to die cutting? Paper trimmer or guillotine, it's entirely up to you. All-purpose glue, dotted tape pen, and gems are an optional feature. And that is all you're going to need to create your scrapbook page.
Easy. Love it. Love it. So many lovely supplies there. If you've, like Debbie says, if you've not got all of those items in your crafty stash at home, just mix it up, changing your papers, change out your dies. But it's all about that education, all about that inspiration that Debbie's going to provide throughout the course of this show. Now, before we actually dive straight into that craft along, I'm going to say a few hellos. We've got so many lovely people at home watching us this afternoon. We still have Dean and Jamie in our ear for the course of this show, and we've got our lovely Susie on the socials as well. So we have got Carletta joining us from Arkansas. Claire is saying hi from Gibraltar. Ooh, she's saying she loves the craft show. Our Margaret is saying loving the craft alongs. Yeah, I have to say I adore a craft along. I was super excited. We've got 2 days worth of craft alongs. So much inspiration for you guys at home, which I think is amazing. Jenny, oh lovely Jenny. Hello Jenny, lovely to hear from you. Is saying good morning from Ohio. We've got Kim saying hi everyone. She's watching whilst playing with her easel drawer template. I absolutely love those templates. You guys at home clearly did as well, given how quickly they flew out the door last week. We've got Kim saying hello, just read that one. We've got Kathy saying good morning from foggy Dublin, Ohio. Pat's joining us from a cold and windy New Jersey. Mary Beth Doyle is in from Minnesota. Oh, Pat's loving the look of this project that Debbie's going to be putting together for us. Lois is saying hello, as is Melanie D. Mary Pat 1000 is saying, yay, thank you Debbie. Scrapbooking is my first love and always will be. I'll let you into a little secret. I've got craft along tomorrow. Mine's a scrapbook page as well. I love scrapbooking. Me and Debbie, honestly, we're on the same wavelength.
We are. We're
Absolutely.
very much alike.
Not only have we both done craft alongs with scrapbook pages this week, but I did the lace nesting dies craft along last week and used the same paper pads. Of course. I mean, you couldn't write it, could you? Absolutely hilarious, isn't it? We've got Jessica joining us from Illinois. We've got Shaddai saying hello. We've got Pat also saying that she's loving the craft alongs. Even though I'm not doing the craft at the time, I am so happy I can go back and look at them. I do love when the presenters give us a list of supplies and the paper size cuts ahead of time. Then you can cut all the papers out and be ready to do it with the presenter. Thank you so much. You are very welcome. It's what it's all about, crafting along with us. And finally, we've got Deborah saying good morning from Defiance, Ohio. Wow, so many people joining us on this afternoon, but what you really want to see is this amazing project creative start to finish. So that's exactly what we're going to do now with our lovely Debbie. Debbie, take it away.
Absolutely. So before we go into the die cuttings aspect of it, we're going to just create the layout of the scrapbook page, as in the sizing. Now this is one I've chosen to use. Now I did say that there was some A3 cardstock in there as well because I wanted to frame it a little bit. With these pattern papers, they're so patterned. I just wanted to break it up a little bit with a little bit of white. So I used an A3 cardstock. Now there is multi-purpose A3 cardstock. There are lots of different choices in terms of your Centura Pearl as well that's in your cardstock size. But of course, just of late, we've brought out some 12 by 12, black and white, that you'll be able to find on the website if you need them, and they're perfect for your scrapbook pages. The reason I choose 12 by 12, because you can make scrapbooks of any size. I prefer the larger ones. I like my big albums to put these into, so that's why I'm working with a 12 by 12. So first of all, I'm just going to choose a colour. Now, this is rather depleted. So I'm limited into the colour because it was the other blue to this. However, there's others to choose from as well. So you can absolutely use any of these gorgeous papers. Ours has been depleted just a little, somewhat. So I'm possibly going to use maybe the other side to this one. It is beautiful, but it's quite a strong pattern. But I do like the blue. So yeah, I think it's quite a I think I'm going to stick with that for now. But of course, you choose what is right for you. Absolutely. So of course, I've got 2 choices now, actually, because I could use the blue, or I could actually use the green.
Do you know what? I like the green.
And do you know what? I think I'm going to change it up a little bit. I think I'm going to use the green. So I'm going to take a couple of pieces out of there. This is a beautiful pad. It's 12 by 12 pearlescent cardstock. Super easy as well to take those 12 by 12s out of the folder. Sometimes you can have some tricky ones that are just a little bit tight to get out. With this, absolutely, it's just incredible. Now, I'm going to stick with the green, and I am going to make sure I'm not going to do any cutting out, any hollowing or anything like that, because it's a scrapbook page. It could be an home decor page. This could be a wall hanger if you wanted it to be as well. You're just going to attach some ribbon to the back of it. So I'm going to keep it as a whole, and I'm not going to do anything because that is exactly 12 by 12. What I am going to do is take my A3 piece of cardstock in the white. Like I said, I just want to break it up a little bit. And I think it gives it a nice framing, and it also picks out the white of the flowers that are in there as well. So that's going to be the second layer, but we need to cut it down to size, because obviously if that's 12 by 12, we can't have this 12 by 12, because if we do, what is the point? We need to trim it down a little bit. So I'm going to use my paper trimmer, and I'm going to come in and I'm going to take it to, I think I'm going to take it to 11 3/4. Now, I'm just trying to remember A3. I think it is 11 3/4, isn't it? Inside. Can I just check that, Lily? Because...
Just just while Debbie's measuring up, we've popped the details on your
Yeah.
screen for the limited edition Ultimate Pro paper pad collection. You're getting those 3 pads in there. So the Rainbow Pearl, which is that lovely solid colour paper pad. We call them paper. They're not. They are cardstock. They are nice heavyweight cardstock. So you've got your Rainbow. You have got your Botanic Garden, which is the other one that Debbie's just shown you. And then you also get your Dixie Floral as well. So you're getting 3 different paper pads there. Flat price on your screen. If you're part of our Platinum Club, that's going all the way down to £44 or $50.40 for all 3 paper pads. And they're gorgeous.
Now, with A3 paper and cardstock, it's 11 3/4 in the in one of the widths by obviously the A3. So what I've just done is trimmed it to 11 3/4. That's all this is. I only had to do it one way, Lily, because
Easy,
that's
we
already
like
done.
that.
So that's a nice easy peasy one.
One cut wonder.
I like ones like that make it that nice bit easy. So that's going to fit into there perfectly. Again, I'm not going to trim anything out. I want some rigidity to this, so I'm not going to do that whatsoever. But of course, if I've come to 11 3/4 inch square with my white piece, I need to come down just a fraction again. Now it's entirely up to you. I'm going to trim it to start with to 11.5 inches by 11.5 inches. If I think it needs a little bit more off, I'll trim a little bit more off. And I just need to do that on both sides of this. So again, just down to the 11.5 inch mark. And we were talking about this morning, me and Ben. This is a paper trimmer. You think paper only? No. Cardstock it will go through as well. The only kind of things it won't go through are things like mount board. It's just that little bit too heavy. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to measure this up and see if that is the perfect frame. And do you know what? I'm really happy with that. So I'm not going to do anything else other than stick those layers down. I'm really pleased I've used the green, guys.
I like it.
Right. I'm glad the other blue wasn't available. It's nice to mix it up a little bit.
Do you know what? It's a funny thing, and I end up doing this quite a lot because we have our favourites. We have our favourites within a paper pad.
We do.
And you go to certain designs, certain colourways, time and time again. I actually think it's quite good, you know, when you start to run out your paper pads and you're sort of limited for choice. It forces you to use different colours you don't usually.
It absolutely does. It makes you rethink and think, what else could I use then? Because they are all beautiful, but you are leaning towards your favourite. I nearly did bring my own cardstock with me today, but because I've only got 1 sheet left of it, I thought, nah, I'll use the studio one. But I hadn't realised that the studio one was well loved as well.
It's probably, let's be honest, Debbie, it's probably between me and you the reason why it's so depleted, given how much we love that paper pad.
We can't go around blaming anybody else because there's me and you. This is the one that we tend to go to, this gorgeous cardstock.
It is.
Of recent makes, I have absolutely depleted this pad, and I think so much so I'm going to have to place another order. I'm going to have to get some more in.
I've got 2, I think, of all of them, and I've depleted most of those already. They are absolutely gorgeous. The fact that you've got that pearlescent sheen, it just makes them that little bit more special, doesn't it?
Yeah, absolutely.
I love that. With the green, doesn't that pick it out gorgeously?
Yeah, all of those. So that matching green, and this is what I always do. I've talked, and you'll agree with me on this, Lily. Whenever I choose, and if I'm colouring anything as well, I know we're not doing any colouring today, but if I was colouring anything, I would always choose the paper first, and then match my colours to the papers. And it's pretty similar to what I've just done there with my chosen colours for my layers. I've looked at that patterned paper and seen that there's a little white flower in there, so just by adding that white on lifts that flower instantly, and the green has lifted it instantly. Now you don't have to worry if you've got for that rainbow pearl pad, because is this called rainbow pearl? Is it called rainbow? It is, isn't it? Yeah, I thought it were. Debbie, for a minute I was looking at myself. Rainbow, because it's all being complemented to work with this one and the Dixie Floral as well. But it just gives it that nice little lift. Now I'm making sure that all my glue, and I know you see the team, so I think our Corinne and Jan both take the brayer and use the brayer across there to smooth out all of that glue. I love feeling the cardstock, so I just get my hands all over it. Not gonna lie. But that is that all covered, and that's the first layer of your scrapbook done. And then we're gonna move on to, of course, some die cutting.
Ooh, that's what it's all about.
I have chosen green, but I am also going to choose some white, because if I just bring this in for a second, you'll see, because it is such a heavy pattern, it's a detailed die. A detailed die on a heavy patterned cardstock in the matching cardstock, it'll get lost a little bit. So just by adding a little bit of white underneath, makes that come to the foreground again and makes that pop. So that's what you're going to be doing next, because the first one we're going to die cut is, of course, these fabulous. And this, you might think, how on earth have you got that grand edgeable to extend? It's really simple, and I'll show you in a second. Okay? Right. So, shall we do a little bit more, or do you want? Are you okay? I think everybody's okay, aren't they? I think we're okay.
Yeah.
Right. What I'm going to do is I'm going to just cut a few strips up. So I've taken this gorgeous green, but I want to make it fit to my die. And there's no point sticking the whole of that cardstock through your die cutting machine. Now I know this is roughly. And if I just put it onto there to show you, I know that it fits nicely into a 3-inch strip, giving me a bit of movement in case anything moves in my die cutting machine. So I'm going to take it to 3 inches and trim that down to 7 3/4 as well. So that's a 3-inch by a 7 3/4. It's a long die. This is called a grand edgeable. It is big, it is long, and I wanted to make sure it fits onto there without wasting too much cardstock. And you want to cut this down 4 times in this plain cardstock.
Okay.
So I'm going to just switch it over a little bit now to get most out of my cardstock. If I was to do that again, I'll end up with a short stubby piece. But I know, and if I just pop that on there for a second, I know that if I turn it, I can get a little bit more out of it. So I'm going to be able to get all 4 that I need from this, and we'll trim those down in a second, just by simply turning it onto the long side and getting that and a little bit more, because I only need this 4 times. And I've got my 4 pieces, but I'm just going to trim this down again, not too much waste. We'll take that down to the 7 3/4. All these little bits could be used for die cut elements with your flowers, all those kind of things if you want to add anything to it. So I never tend to throw anything away, especially like small sentiments. They're a nice little mat and layer for a small sentiment as well. So I'm just going to trim all of that down to the size that I need. So you'll end up with 4 pieces that measure at 3 inches by 7 3/4. Now I did say that I wanted a matching white to go underneath, so we're going to do exactly the same. We're going to got 4 pieces, and you can use Centura Pearl, you can use white cardstock. It's entirely up to you at this stage. You're just using it for a shadow drop, so don't get too hung up about the kind of cardstock that you're going to use. If you've got some linen cardstock, you could use linen cardstock underneath as well. But I'm just going to cut the same 4 pieces that will fit this die 4 times, and I have got a little bit of spare from my piece of cardstock that I had to start with initially. So I'm going to trim that down to 3 inches. And then I'm going to trim that to 7 3/4. And like I said, you only want that another 3 times after that. So I'm going to switch now to the second sheet and cut out the remaining strips. And then we'll get on to some serious die cutting. I hope you're all ready for it, because
looking forward to it.
There is a lot of die cutting in this craft along. Let me just tell you, a lot.
Love it.
So we're gonna do that, but we're gonna put the Gemini through its paces as well. And like I said, any questions, you are more than welcome to put them through. I'm sure our Susie T, she won't mind me saying it. If there's anything you want to ask, absolutely do that, and we will answer as much as we possibly can. And don't forget, Lily might be on that side, but you've got 2 experts for the price of 1 today. So anything that I might not be able to answer, Lily surely can.
Well,
been in the
between
business
us,
a
I
while
think
now.
we should. Between us, we should be able to answer. Talking of our lovely Susie, she is adoring these paper pads just as much as we are, Debbie. She says, saying, oh, me too. I love these floral pearlescent pads. The ditzy one is my favourite with a matching rainbow solid. Good choice there, Susie. We love these paper pads, and we've got a few more people joining us. All of these Stephanie who joined me on my craft along last Saturday is saying hello. We've got Christine Mahoney in. All lovely Linda Fitzsimmons is saying hello. She's looking forward to this one. We've got Jen Shank in saying good morning, ladies team and crafty friends. We've got Lynn Morton joining us just down the road in Newcastle. Jane L. Safdie's saying hello from France. Polly Cozin. Lillian Kwok is saying hello, as is Laurie as well.
Right, so we've got 4 strips of green, 4 strips of white, and our die cut. So you can see there's a fair bit of die cutting to do with this die, which we will go to in a second. Can I just tell you, our lovely Linda who's watching, who's recently joined the Superstar Social team,
She has.
is what I consider to be a scrapbook queen.
She is, absolutely. She's
Honestly.
amazing.
So, and again, I love watching what Linda creates with the scrapbook pages. So, yes, it's lovely to have you with us, Linda. I hope I can do my scrapbook justice like you do with yours, because yours are beautiful. Right, so shall we do a bit of die cutting? Yeah, let's go in, because I'll just do it once, because I don't think you need to see it all the 8 times. I can be doing that whilst our lovely Lily is showing you some other things as well. But what I'm going to show you is, now, this is our Grande Edgeable. Now, there is a fair bit into there. So do you know when I talk about pressure of your machine? And I'll tell you sometimes you don't need to add the magnetic shim into there. I'm going to run this through first without to show you what I mean by that, if that's okay. Sometimes I think it's nice to go over these things and show you these things. Oh, tape, Debbie tape. What have you done with it? Oh, it's there. Hang on a minute. Let me get my tape. Now, I also talk about our low-tack tape is fabulous. However, it is incredibly high-tack when it goes through the machine. So I'm going to give it a little bit of an helping hand by de-tacking it, which I know sounds bizarre, but I know the power of the machine. I know how powerful that machine is. You can do this onto your clothes as well, or you can do it onto your skin. It's either way. There's no right or wrong way. But what I want to do is just pop that into the middle of the plate, and I'm going to show you with, and I do talk about this a lot, about pressure. But because I showed you earlier with the normal regular die, I'm going to show you what would happen if you pop that through there. Now, every machine is different. Every machine that's out there, they're the same, the same spec, shall we call it? Is that the right word? Same spec. Yeah. However, it's like with anything. No 2 cars are exactly the same. No 2 cookers are exactly the same. No machine, it's the same here with the machine. So sometimes you might find that there's just a bit too much pressure. Now, Jamie, can you get in close? How good you can?
Of course you can. Go on, Jamie. You can do it. Look, we're going in. Now,
I can see there's a fair bit of that that's cut out. But there is also on this die what we call a embossed feature in the middle of the petals. So rather than add an extra shim, I'm going to bring in the, where's my plastic shim gone? Let's put the plastic shim back. Right, I'm going to bring in the plastic shim and the other cutting plate, and I'm going to pop that die on, but I'm going to turn it this way. I'm actually going to put this back down just for a second, because what I don't want it to do is pop out of the die. So, and I'm going to have to grab, we haven't got the raspberry, yeah, we don't know where the raspberry rubber embossing mat's gone, so I'm just going to re-switch it for the original and pop that over and then run that through again. So because there is a nice little embossed detail onto there. There you go. It's up to you. The power of the Gemini will automatically put some of that embossed detail in. However, did you hear that then?
I did. It was very satisfying, wasn't it?
Yeah, because the rubber embossing mat will push into that area that needs that extra die cut. And sometimes it's just worth, rather than putting your extra shim in, it may be just worthwhile. And I don't know if you can see there, but a little bit more clearer now, it's finished that die cut off and also done that embossing detail into there at the same time. And sometimes, and I used to teach this all the time when I was in store, you would automatically think a detailed die like that would need, excuse me, sorry for doing that out loud, you would automatically think that that would need the metal shim possibly, or the magnetic shim. Now, I'm not saying don't put the magnetic shim in, because I did do with my own original piece. However, I just wanted to recap, because this is a die cutting masterclass, I just wanted to recap that you can absolutely do it this way as well. Please excuse me a second, because it's gone very warm in here, or it's Debbie having a little bit of a hot flush moment. And I'm just going to literally pop that through and then take out all those little pieces. And I'm going to just take my time doing this. Let me just remove that other piece there. There we go. It's such a gorgeous die, this. It really is. And then we're going to come in and take out all those pieces. Oh, Debbie, don't do that. Dearie me, did you see that, Lily? I were a little bit heavy-handed with it.
Oh, we've all been there.
I know.
We've all been
But
there.
you can see that beautiful detail in your die, and it's also done that lovely embossing. Now you're going to repeat that, because we want this, and I did say I'm going to be doing a bit of die cutting, but you don't want to see me repeat it over and over again. I'm just going to repeat that process. However, I will show you as well the magnetic way too, so that you get the idea. It's entirely up to you, and I'm going to put that side by side so you can see that detail.
Can I just ask, because when you did your embossing, Debbie, obviously we're talking all things Gemini 2, and we, of course, we're using our Gemini 2 die cutting machine. You did use your plates, well, the embossing mat from your original Gemini in there. Can you use all of your plates from the original? Yep,
absolutely. And we'll talk about this. Sorry, I'm just...
We've opened the door, so hopefully get some draft in.
Having a little bit of a hot moment. With me and Lily, we're like polar opposites in the terms of... We're the same in crafting, but in terms of heat. Lily's over the heater, I'm studying melting. I'm like that witch at the end of A Wizard of Oz, where, I'm melting. Yes, you can. And that's the thing you need to remember. Old plates will go through the new one. New plates will go through the old one. And you may often hear us, because of the optical sensor, talk about needing a colour or a solid colour to be able to react. I would always say, because of the way I die cut, and you know me, Lily, you've known me long enough, I always put my plastic shim on top of my die cut piece. Don't know if you could just visualise that. Pop that down onto the top, and then the magnetic sheet goes on the top. Now, if you've got your clear plates is going to pick up the white, so you don't need to put anything else in there. So if you are using the older plates in your newer machine, or the other way around, God love Liam, he must have heard me. Having a senior moment there. He's fetching me in a little bit of a helping hand. He's a darling. Thank you very much. Oh, I could just go and sit under that right now. If you see hair flicking around like Beyonce, he's fetched me my big fan. Because he's just a lovely, lovely, lovely guy. Oh, look at Jamie, the little smooth talker.
Partly Jamie's Debbie's biggest fan, not the fan at the side of it, it's our little Jamie in the rear. Bless it. Another little question we've just had come through in regards to you actually embossing those dies just then. Angela has asked, so is the cutting side of the die facing up to the purple embossing mat when you put it back through or not?
Say that again, Lily, sorry.
So she's basically, Angela's just asking which way around you need the blade of the die in terms of your embossing mat.
I'll show you. I will show you so that you can, I can repeat that again for you. I'm just trimming that away just so I can show you as well, that die cut element. And like I said, there is some detail in there. Because it's a beautiful balloon flower, I quite like that one. But if you're adding that metal, that magnetic shim in, it pronounces those more in the centre. Right, go back to that question with the rubber embossing mat. I've got it in front of me. So whenever you're doing that process, plate down first, plastic shim, and your die, I'll just clean this die for a second, excuse the tapping, would go there. Now your cardstock would be, let's pop that back in there. There we go, cardstock in. And then blade facing into the rubber embossing mat. Now, I know you probably think, oh my God, that'll cut through that mat, it'll cut through that mat.
I remember the first time I did it and I was like, no, this is not going to work.
Do not worry, it will not cut into that rubber embossing mat. The only time it will cut into that rubber embossing mat is if you then put that in. And if you're putting that in, and then the other cutting plate on the top, this poor little thing will come out wrinkled, torn and shredded because there is far too much pressure in there. Now, it used to be easier when we had the original Gemini. We used to say you don't put the black magnetic shim in with the black, everything was black, and we used to say don't put two black mats together. We can't say it now because we've kind of split the colours so that you can see it a bit better. And your new G2, it's raspberry. So all you need to remember is, at the same time, there will be no rubber in I'm sorry, I'm waving them at you, Jamie. There will be no rubber mats put in with your magnetic shim. If you are embossing a die only, that one, over the top of, and in the blade faces into it. Just so you remember that, because otherwise it's not going to bounce into anything. It's not. If you've got it the other way around, it's not going to do anything. So it's just remembering that that goes onto the top of your blade. So that's a great question when it comes to die cutting. So thank you, whoever asked that.
That was Angela asking that?
Yeah, absolutely.
Great question.
Fantastic question. It really is. Do you know that's the beauty of this craft along?
Absolutely,
Die
that's what it's
cutting.
all about.
But ask anything you want. So I'm just going to repeat that again, Lily, and I'm going to repeat it with the green and with the white, and we're just going to repeat a few times. Now, I'm just going to tell you, Lily, at this stage, it's going to get a little bit boring.
Okay.
For you to keep me watching, duplicating that. So you might hear the machine in the background. It's just me busy working, but I'm going to throw back to our lovely Lily. I'm going to have a quick swig while I'm at it as well, and get those die cut elements. If that's okay?
That is all good by me. Just before we go into the deal on those amazing Grande Edgeables that we've just been having a look at, I've had a question. It's coming to me. Helen, thank you very much. So I'll answer this one. Go on then, why not? We've got Helen saying, Lily, I bought the Gemini 2 before Christmas and I'm still getting used to the shim layouts. Don't worry, we've all been there. It's one of those things, once you first get your new die cutting machine, it's all about learning that machine, all about learning those plate combinations. So don't worry about that if you're new to it. She says she refers to the booklet and follows the instructions each time, but the metal shim is buckled. Why is this? Well, Helen, first up, it's actually very, very rare that you use the metal shim. Literally, since I've had my Gemini 2, I'm trying to think how long we've had our Gemini 2s for, matter of months. I can literally count on one hand the amount of times that I've actually had to use that metal shim. Maybe if I'm cutting felt with a thin metal die, I might sometimes bring in that metal shim, but it's actually really rare that you'll need that metal shim, just because that pressure in that Gemini is so high that you don't really need to be adding in extra pressure each and every single time. So what?
Sorry, Lily.
Go on.
Sorry, because I was just going to jump in and just say, Lily is absolutely 110% correct. The times that you use that metal shim are few and far between. This morning, I did a quick demonstration cutting acetate, because it was the one thing that we get asked a lot about with acetate, heavyweight acetate. And I literally popped the plate and then the metal shim with the acetate and the die facing down, plastic shim and the other cutting plate. And the question that got asked was, why are you putting the magnetic shim in? You don't need it. The metal into the metal cuts, and it cut crystal clear this morning when I did my butterfly demonstration with the round circular thing. That's the only time that you're going to need it for like multimedia dies and things like that. Die cutting, and this is quite intricate, and we'll come to you in a second when we're doing the other dies. You'll see how intricate they get. You don't need the metal shim. So yeah, Lily's 110 and more % correct. You very rarely need to use it. It's just thinking about those materials, isn't it, Lily?
Absolutely. And something that I've learned actually from yourself, Debbie, over the years is that always start off with that minimum plate combination. Maybe the booklet is telling you to add in that magnetic shim, but like we've seen with Debbie on that demonstration just now, start off without your magnetic shim. If it doesn't cut, if you need extra pressure, add that magnetic shim back in, but always start off with that minimum plate combination and just bulk it up if you need to. But like we say, it's very rare that you actually need that metal shim. Hopefully that helps, but of course, any further questions on that or any questions at all, get those sent in and we'll do our very best to answer. Now, I just want to share with you some of those amazing dies that Debbie has just been working with, because those Grande Edgeables, we have actually got these on the show today, and quite frankly, we've got them at a crazy price. We have got our fabulous details there on the screen. So we've got our Grande Edgeable 3-piece collection for an amazing Platinum Club price today of just £8.80 or $10.40. You get 3 different designs included as part of this amazing collection. So first up, we've got the one that Debbie has just shown us there, which is our beautiful balloon flowers. So with our Edgeables, same as any sort of Edgeable die set that we bring to you here at Crafters Companion, that means that it's going to cut out on one side of the cardstock, but the other side there is going to stay within your cardstock. So you can cut it out as a thin border like we have here, but you can see on that left-hand side there, we've actually created that into a card base, because that piece of cardstock there can be as long or as short as you so choose, which gives you lots of different options in terms of your card shapes like we've done here. It could be around the edges of a box lid as well. That would look absolutely fabulous. But think of paper piecing this design, cut it in multiple colours, start to paper piece those designs back in. Maybe you're going to be doing like stained glass window effects, so just pop a bit of acetate behind, scribble on the back using some of your alcohol pens, and it will look absolutely incredible. But that's just one design of 3 that you're getting as part of this incredible collection. Next up, we come on to our gingham lace. So with these, of course, they can be horizontal, they can be vertical, you can even have them on a diagonal as well if you so choose. Beautiful design that you've got with this one. I think this one's going to be ideal as well for some of your masculine makes. You could be bringing in your reds and greens, and that could be Christmas as well, all year round with this beautiful design. But once again, Edgeable concept means that that left-hand side there is going to stay within your cardstock, so you can create all of your different concept cards if you so choose. And then finally, the last one, as part of this bundle of 3, you're getting your absolutely gorgeous daisy lace. Now, this is beautiful for the fact that not only are you getting that gorgeous intricate design within that die cut, you also get that almost like liftable detail in there as well, so you can start to lift up the petals of those gorgeous daisies if you so choose. Add a few gems or pearls onto here, it's going to finish it off absolutely beautifully. Isn't that just gorgeous? But you're getting all 3 of those dies, and you've seen in that demonstration with Debbie not only how gorgeously they cut, but how large scale they are as well. So they're going to really take centre stage on your cards as well as your other projects like your scrapbook pages or your box making as well. All 3 sets there for £8.80 or $10.40. Now we're going to give you a few moments to check out those baskets. I know a lot of you have got items like your Gemini 2 or your Grand Edgeables, or maybe even items from that January sale sat in your baskets, and you're just waiting for that opportunity to check out. Maybe you want to have a little look over on the website for a bargain, because that January sale ends tomorrow, so you've not got long left to go to grab yourself an absolute stonker of a deal as part of that sale. But while you do that, Debbie's just going to continue die cutting, and we'll be back in just a matter of minutes.
Hi, I'm Becky. I'm the soft craft expert for Crafter's Companion. I've always crafted, I think because my parents worked at Shepperton Studios. I grew up at Shepperton. They were always working, so my holidays and my weekends and my evenings were spent at the studios, and I just sort of sit around with the other artists, and they'd give me a bit of clay to play with or some fabric. So I was always making things, and there were a couple of children around the same sort of age, and we just used to make clothes for our Cindy dolls. I'm flighty with my crafts. I want to try everything, so I go all out and I decide tomorrow I'm going to be doing candle making, and I buy all the stuff and I make candles, and then I lose interest and I move on to the next thing. I want to be able to have a little go at all sorts of crafts, and I've always been like that ever since I was a small child, so I think I can turn my hand and give anything a go. My craft inspiration, I think a lot of that comes from the internet, looking online, being able to watch sort of artists producing bits and pieces, as well as sort of just general crafters. But a lot of my inspiration came from sort of my mum and my mum's friends, which were all sort of great designers and people that created all sorts of different things. The Crafters TV audience have been so kind to me. So when I first started, and I've not been here a huge amount of time, and I've done a little bit of presenting, I got so many lovely comments from people when I started doing the presenting, and it was just really such a lovely feeling. And it's nice that people keep messaging in, you know, we see the same people, and we know you can build up that kind of relationship with those people. So it's just the fact that people like what we do and they're pleased. And I do love it when people send us photographs of the items that they've made and when they've been inspired by the shows. I think that's great. My biggest achievement, when I put it on social media, I said that I was more proud of this than I was when I had my children. It's when I won a Demo of the Week. I was just absolutely gobsmacked that I'd won Demo of the Week. I don't often win Demo of the Day, so to win Demo of the Week, I was really, really super excited. Oh God, I can't give you the gossip because I promised that I wouldn't give any of the gossip away, but it is great. Lots of us stay overnight in a house here, which is brilliant because we all get to know each other on a real personal kind of level rather than just colleagues. So it's a really great atmosphere, and there's so much to learn from all of these people that I work with. So I feel really quite blessed to be part of this, and it is a happy family, I have to be honest.
Oh, lovely Becky Swan, not jealous of her at all. She's off on her holidays. I was emailing her this morning, I was like, I hope you're having a lovely holiday. She's like, yeah, I am. And then you look at the weather outside here and you think, blimey me, I would certainly like to be on holiday. So sending our love to Becky over on her holiday. But we're here, we're in the studio. We're nice and warm in the studio, not like the weather outside, which has not been very nice this past week or so. So it's definitely crafting weather. That's exactly what we're doing today with 3 fabulous craft alongs. This middle show, of course, is all about die cutting. So we've been asking you guys at home for all of your questions, all of your worries and woes when it comes to die cutting. And we'll be doing our very best to answer all of those throughout the course of this 2-hour show. I say 2 hours, Blimey me, 45 minutes in already. We've got an hour and a quarter left, but still plenty of time to get those questions in. But before we get back over to Debbie, who's just finishing off her die cutting, let's read a few more comments and say a few more hellos. We've got Lillian joining us. Hello, Lillian Quark. Lovely to have your company. She's loving Debbie's choice of cardstock, I think, as we all are. Brenda is loving the look of this project that we're starting to put together. Beth Falone is saying, good morning, crafty friends. Jane L. Safdie is similarly loving that paper. Beth, wow. This 64-year-old is off to get her first tattoo. Not nervous at all. Wow. Well, credit to you, Beth. Let us know what you're getting. Is it a Crafters TV logo? We won't blame you if it was, but best of luck. You'll be absolutely fine. But what a fab thing to do on this Thursday. Why on earth not, hey? Helen is saying hello. Oh, Linda is saying, oh, Debbie, you're too kind. She says, blushing. You are incredibly talented, Linda, and I do hope you know it, because you really, really are. Got a few of those questions that we have answered. Mary Pat 1000 is going to try the technique that Debbie's been showing us. Gwen is saying she used her heritage dies yesterday. Gwen, I love those dies. I'd forgotten about them, I'll be honest. Found them the other day. I was like, need to use these again. They're gorgeous, aren't they? So she's been using her heritage dies. She's using the reverse function on her Gemini 2. Worked great, and she was using glitter paper, so it was helpful. Wow. Sounds fabulous, Gwen even, and I'm glad you're enjoying using your Gemini 2. Evelyn is saying good morning from beautiful Colorado. The sun is shining right now. A little bit of snow is on the way. Ooh, exciting. Angela is saying thank you for answering her questions. Laurie says sometimes Craze uses metal shim for embossing. There you go, different use there. And Susie's loving all the questions coming in, so do keep those answers on all those questions coming in, and we'll do our very best to answer those. Now, just before we get back over to Debbie, we want to show you a few pictures and words of some more amazing goodies that you can be getting your hands on. So this is our fantastic Colorable Create-a-Cards. Love these. I don't love saying them. They're not so easy to get your teeth around, but they are the most gorgeous concept here of both stamps and dies. You have got, wow, 21 stamps and 20 dies in total for that incredible Platinum Club price today of £15.20 or $17.60. You've seen all the items there that you're getting, but I want to show you the concepts in a little bit more detail so you can see exactly what you're getting home when you get your crafty mitts on these beautiful stamps and dies. So first up, we have got our Thinking of You. Now, the concept with these is that they are a Create-a-Card die in terms of you've got that inner cut in detail and that outer die, which will cut that detail out as a panel if you so choose. But here we're also bringing stamps into the mix, which you can use with or without the dies. That choice is yours. So you can get the most fabulous cut-in designs if you want, cut those designs out as a panel, or just stamp them as they are. They're going to look absolutely gorgeous. Sentiments included as well to finish off your makes with style. Next up, we do love our butterfly, especially me and our Debbie. This one is our gorgeous, beautiful butterfly. Same concept again with this one. Think of using all those different colouring mediums that you've got. Maybe it's going to be your tri-blend brush pens, your illustrators, and start to colour up that, and it's going to look absolutely stunning. And then we have got our, oh, this is a beautiful one, our little birthday cake. Love this one. Change up those colouring mediums, change up those colourways, and it could be any sort of frosting onto that fabulous cake. Could be a strawberry, raspberry cake, it could be a vanilla sponge, could be chocolate sponge. That choice is entirely yours. But once again, even more sentiments to finish off your makes absolutely beautifully. And then finally, oh, this is amazing. Look at the colouring on that. This is our Sweet Roses, absolutely beautiful once again, with that gorgeous stamp, with the two dies as well, which you can use together or separately, and your sentiments included as well. An absolutely beautiful set of both stamps and dies. 21 stamps and 20 dies in total for an amazing price of £15.20 or $17.60. Absolutely gorgeous collection of stamps and dies. Now we are card makers at the end of the day, or scrapbookers, and we need, if we're paper crafting, we need paper, we need card, and we have got the bundle for you with some of our fantastic luxury cardstock. So here we're bringing you 3 packs of our luxury cardstock for that amazing Platinum Club price today of £15.60 or $25.20. You're getting your green, your ice blue, and your red. And first up, let's have a little look at our beautiful red. So in each pack, you are getting 30 sheets, which is giving you a whopping 90 sheets in total. You get 10 of your satin, so that matte mirror that you can see at the bottom. You're getting 10 of your, as I call it, your proper mirror card, which is your shiny mirror. And you're also getting 10 of that beautiful non-shed glitter card as well, which die cuts like an absolute dream. So that's your red pack. You get exactly the same when it comes to your green. So thinking Christmas, these two are going to be absolutely ideal. Maybe crafting for St. Patrick's Day, your green is going to be great for that. For springtime makes, mechanics as well, or gents cars, that's also going to be ideal. But once again, with your green, you get your 10 of your glitter, 10 of your mirror, and 10 of your satin mirror as well. And then finally, you also get that beautiful ice blue. 10 of your mirror, 10 of your glitter, and 10 of your satin. And just to note, that's not actually a silver glitter at the top, it's ever so slightly blue. You can see it in better detail when you put it next to actually some of your proper silver glitter cards, so it's something a little bit different. And this one I have come to match with my nails as well. How canny was that? Love that. So that's our 90 sheets of our fantastic luxury cardstock in your ice blue, your red and your green as well. For that Platinum Club price there, £15.60 or $25.20. Now she's just been busy beavering away doing lots of die cutting, that same process that she showed you with that first die cut. But it's time to get ourselves back over to Debbie to see this project really start to take shape.
And I realised during me die cutting marathon that I'd made a faux pas. However, doesn't matter. We're just going to have to change my little plan up just slightly. And that's just because when I did this, and when I did the original ones, I pushed, you know, my 3-inch strip, I punched, look at me, I feel like punching it now, I realised I've made my faux pas, but I'm not going through 8-3 die cuts again. I wanted to take the edge of the die cutting piece, this is the bit that stays connected into cardstock, I wanted to take that edge up to, if I just show you what I mean, up to the edge, which left me with a big base.
A big base?
Like I did with those two. However, I realised I didn't do that with all my cardstock, so I've had to rejig this. So, in terms of rejigging, I've just fetched in my guillotine just to show you what I've had to do. I technically wanted this strip because you know the pieces of cardstock that we had left over. I was going to flip reverse it and put that little down the centre because that's what I did on my original. However, I can't do that now. So I'm going to take it, this die cut edge to the 2 1/4 mark. And because that was my thinnest one, I've had to do that on all my 8 pieces. So I've slightly changed it up, but you know what? It doesn't matter. It really doesn't matter. So to that 2 1/4 inch mark, then enables me to have all of these pieces that are the same. So I've got 4 in the green, 4 in that beautiful white underneath, because we are of course going to do a little drop shadow to make this pop. Now this is the bit that's going to sit onto the edge of my project. If I just bring this in for a second to show you what I mean, it's going to sit at the top. So I'm going to have it, and can you see where I put my little strip? I wanted to break up that piece. However, we'll get away with it because all we're going to do is move it down the cardstock. It won't make any difference whatsoever. So I'll just put that back to one side there. And then we're going to do that drop shadow. So of course with the drop shadow, we need a dotty tape pen. We're going to make life so much easier for ourselves by using the dotty tape pen. And I'm putting it onto the back of the dark colour. And then again, do we have the dotty still in stock?
Okay, the guys are just checking over on the website for you at home. But if you don't like to use your tape pens, I have to say when I'm crafting at home, I tend to favour using my tacky glue. It does give you that little bit of wiggle room. But if you're crafting like Debbie and want to use your dotty tape pens, check out the website as they are in stock, which is fabulous. So get your hands on some of those because they are absolute sort of game changers when it comes to gluing your intricate die cuts.
Now I've just put the purple mat underneath because I'm just going to show you. I want quite a bit of a drop shadow this time. Normally I only do a faint one, but I wanted quite a bit of the white showing. So I've just dropped it down and moved it to the right to create this. And before I actually stick and commit to the stick, I want to make sure I've got quite a bit of that white showing. I think it just makes it pop. Can you see?
It does.
Now you can do a much smaller drop shadow. There's no rules with drop shadow, just I'm going to put it out there because I hear so many people say you only need to drop it a fraction, drop it a little bit. There's no right or wrong way.
And some people say it's got to go in this direction, that direction.
Exactly,
I have a personal preference, but that's all it is. It's a personal preference.
It's exactly
no right or wrong. Debbie is bang on that.
Absolutely. Because I don't want people thinking, oh, well, just because I haven't, you know, there's no right or wrong. There's no maths behind it.
Oh, no. Gosh, can you imagine? Count me out, quite frankly. Blimey, me. Just while you're doing that, Debbie, we have got a fabulous question, actually, and I'm quite excited for Penny, who sent this in, because Penny has said she's new to die cutting. And she started, honestly, at the best place you could possibly start, but Penny, best a crafter can get, as we were saying at launch. She's bought the Gemini 2, but she'd like to know, is there anything else she should have bought to go with it?
With the
Great
G2?
question, yeah.
Oh.
Brand new die cutter.
A
Does she
selection
need
of
anything
dies?
else?
Yeah, you don't need anything for your machine.
No.
Absolutely nothing for your machine.
All the plates included, which we love.
Yeah, absolutely. So it's just I would get some a selection of dies to get excited about and put it through its pace, and the more intricate the better. Now the only thing I'm going to say, if you want to extend onto your Gemini 2, is if you are a soft crafter. So if you're a soft crafter, you may need what we call the metal shims that are specifically designed to work with fabric. So there are metal cutting plates for fabric.
Right.
And they are an A and a B plate. Now, I'm not sure if Penny is a paper crafter, a bit of both, or a sewer. I'm not sure which, but that's probably the only thing that you want to buy extra. For me personally, if you're a paper crafter, Penny, then I would definitely treat yourself to some beautiful dies. There are lots of gorgeous new dies that we've brought out that you would enable you to take your crafting journey into, well, into so much more.
Oh yeah.
Absolutely.
And I'm not sure, Penny, if you're just new to die cutting or new to crafting in general, so I don't know what your craft stash is like in terms of tools, but in terms of die cutting tools, definitely get yourself a pokey tool. If you've not got yourself a pokey tool already, that is an absolute must-have, especially for intricate dies like Debbie's using there. You might want to have a little look at our die brush tool as well. That's also invaluable for getting all of those intricate little bits out of those detailed dies. So I'm not sure if you've already got your tools, if you've already got that toolkit, but of course, like Debbie says, you'll need some dies, you'll need some cardstock as well, and you'll need the basic toolkit too. But in terms of plates, apart from those fabric plates, everything is already in the box, which I think is fabulous. Because I'll be honest, Debbie, when I first got my first die cutting machine many moons ago, a black and pink one, I'm sure you'll know exactly which one. I think we all pretty much started off with that one. It came with some of the plates, but it didn't come with the plates that I needed for the thin metal dies.
No,
So I was
know
there
exactly
with
which
the
one
thin
you
metal
mean.
die, and I was thinking, this plate combination's not working here. And I'm thinking, what's going on? I remember getting on the old Tinterweb and searching. I'm like, what am I doing wrong? What's going off here? And then I found out I need to get about another 3 plates. And I was like, I thought everything was in the box, but clearly not. I had some dies in there, but the dies that I'd bought to go on as extras, I couldn't even use. So the fact that you get all of your plates included in that box is absolutely incredible. We've also popped, I know I've just been talking about some of our die cutting tools. We've actually got a 6-piece collection of some of those intricate tools at the bottom of your screen, paying just £17.49 or $29.49 for that collection of 6 different tools. So Penny, definitely want to check out on the website. We'll probably look at it in a little bit more detail later on in the show.
Now, I'm using these balloon flowers to, and my personal preference was I put it up to the top and then added that strip. But because I've got this nice thin piece now, I don't need to add that strip. I could just drop a little bit down, but it's not going to make much of a difference. So I'm going to take mine up to the top, and then I'm going to join these 2 pieces together. Now, it isn't a repeating pattern.
Okay.
I repeat, it is not a repeating pattern.
Repeat after me.
See what I did there?
Sorry, I thought Ben had walked in the room for a second there.
You can join the 2 together to create a nice border strip. And of course, if you see the join and it bothers you, there's plenty of things you can put on there.
Oh yeah.
Butterfly.
Of course.
You can put some flower dies on there. There's anything you can do to cover that join when it's not a repeating pattern. What it is these really are beautiful die cut elements. I've always been a big fan of the Grande Edgeables. When I saw them on the pole, I was like, oh, I didn't even know we had them still. So it was a nice refresher to go and dig them out and use them for this craft along. Now I'm going to join mine up, so I'm going to pop those 2 pieces onto the bottom, and then I'm just going to join the 2. Now I'm going to trim and just tuck it underneath, but try and join that up so that the scallop joins over the edge, so you can see it almost flows into one. But I'm just going to get myself all trimmed off, and then we'll stick those pieces down in a minute, but I can feel the old throat drying up again, so I'm just going to a quick drag, she says. Drag, drink.
Oh dear.
Just so you know, drink. I'm going to swig. That was the word I was looking for. I'm going to swig from my Crafter's Companion mug, and come and join me in a second, and I'll put these bits together, but I just need to moisten the old vocal cords.
Absolutely. No, we'll be back with Debbie in just a few moments. But what a fantastic craft along this has been so far. And I'm loving the fact that you guys at home are sending those questions, those comments as well. And do keep those coming throughout this next hour of the craft along. All those worries and woes when it comes to your die cutting, get them sent in. We'll get them fired across to Debbie. And between us, we will certainly get those answered and sort of put your worries when it comes to die cutting to rest, so you can get creating with ease without any of those questions and just have lots more fun getting creative, which is what it's all about at the end of the day. Now, if you've just joined us, we are in the middle now of our fantastic craft along. 3 craft alongs we've got today, so much inspiration, which is absolutely fantastic. But this one is all about our die cutting. We've been asking you guys at home to get those questions in, all about our die cutting, all about problems you might be having maybe with plate combinations, with intricate dies not cutting, or anything like that whatsoever. We have got this last hour of the show to get all those questions in and get them answered. We pop the details on the screen for that fantastic Gemini 2 die cutting machine. That is, as we say, it's the best a crafter can get when it comes to your die cutting. You've got that unrivaled A4 or US letter size platform that's going to take all of those intricate dies right up to that larger format. It's going to take your embossing folders as well, and you've got all those fantastic modern features like your USB charging points, all those storage compartments as well, and you also get that fantastic media stand. So if you're die cutting and watching us on Crafters TV, you are covered with this fantastic machine. £159.99 or $239.99 as part of the Platinum Club, and that is the best ever price we have brought this machine to you here at Crafters TV. You'll see it on the shows literally day in, day out. Doesn't matter if we're doing paper craft or even if we're doing soft craft as well. This is going to span all those different crafty disciplines. So maybe you're a paper crafter and card maker at the moment, but what's to say in a year, 2 years down the line, you might be wanting to get into your applique, into your quilting and so on. This machine is going to future-proof your crafting because you've got the ability to cut your deep dish dies, those mixed media dies, using this amazing die cutting machine with the help of your fabric plates. So you know that you can be using this for a range of crafts, which is absolutely fantastic. Now, it is a craft along. We are creating the most gorgeous project from start to finish. It is a scrapbook page. It's absolutely gorgeous. We've already done a little bit of die cutting with Debbie, but we're going to get back over to Debbie to continue this fantastic craft along and see this amazing page really start to take shape.
And so I've just stuck my first layer down, and then I'm going to join this on now. So all I'm going to do is literally take it and then make sure that that curve follows over, and then this one hangs over the top. It doesn't look too noticeable.
No.
What you do need to make sure is, and this is where you decide, do you take it to the end of the page, do you take it to your first matten layer, or do you take it to your second matten layer? I've gone to my first matten layer with mine, so I'm just going to visually, before I actually stick that down, visually mark it. Now you can mark it with a pen, or you could take your scissors and you could just give it a little snip and follow that all the way up, so that you've got a general idea of how, like if I just show you there, that was me being, and to be fair, quick gentle snip up there. If you want to be more precise, you could measure that part and then just trim that with your paper trimmer or with your guillotine. Thank you very much, Lily. Thank you. I couldn't remember then the name of it then for the just that little tiny part. Again, dotty tape pen is the one that you're going to use to do your intricate die cut pieces.
Absolutely.
Or as Lily will tell you, you can use your, and I would say, fine tip applicator with your tacky glue. So get your tacky glue into a fine tip applicator and then attach that on. So I'm just going to make sure that that follows through perfectly up to that edge. In fact, you know what? Let me trim that a little bit more. I always say I'm not a perfectionist, but I am.
Oh, absolutely you are,
Okay, you know, so I can just see just a little teeny weeny bit off there and attach that to that part.
Okay.
And then we do exactly the same on the other side with the other 2 die cutting pieces. And I do love to add things like this to you know, it just gives it a lovely feel, decorative feel to it. And I'm going to take that there, added dimension. Yes, you're right, Dean. He's saying to me, added dimension.
There we go. Oh, fabulous.
Absolutely.
Just while you're sticking that down, Debbie, we've got another question, and this is a great one, asking about the mini machine. So that's one of our manual machines that we've got. If you've never seen that one before, it's a diddy little mini machine that's great for crafting on the go. And Lynn Morton is asking, query please. She's playing with the butterflies and blooms box. She's trying to cut the delicate butterfly corner die. It all cuts lovely, apart from beside a big butterfly. I've tried, it won't cut. What am I doing wrong? I can't get the little bits of paper. It's ripping at the back when I try and pop the tiny bits out.
What collection?
So it's a butterflies and blooms box. It's
I don't think I'm familiar with that
I think
one.
she's just asking really about the intricate die that's within the collection. So
into the mini, did you say?
mini, yeah.
So I'm assuming you're using your folder and popping it into your folder. Did you say it was curling or ripping the cardstock, Lily? I didn't quite...
It sounds like there's not enough pressure, because it sounds like it's not cutting enough, because she's saying when she's trying to get the little pieces out, it's ripping. So to me, that sounds like there's not enough pressure.
I would just add an extra piece of cardstock in there as a shim.
So what shim, for a thin metal die, if anybody's new to the mini, what plate combination do we need for our thin metal dies?
Oh, well, it's not really a plate combination, is it? Let me grab my folder. I've got one here. Sorry, I've got it's actually a midi, so but you'll get the gist, because the mini is 3x6, the midi is 6x9. But this is your plate combination for any of your metal dies. You can see ours are well loved.
Oh yeah.
And you cut all 4 sides. I would always say, whenever you're popping it on, don't have anything close to the edge. If you have it close to the edge, it won't die cut, or you'll put too much strain on the 2 folders. I've actually snapped one.
Oh,
and genuinely, it's because I forgot, and I put it right up to the top, got it through, and the pressure was too much, it snapped them. However, these are, if you think about this is a 2-plate combination. I want you to think of it, it's just that we've hinged them. Oops, sorry, I've got my soft stuck to my die cut piece. I forgot I glued that then. So if you are trying it, make sure it's just a little bit further down here. Other than that, if you're struggling, add a shim in. Now, personally, I'm just going to personally, I would try GSM of a paperweight first.
Okay.
So do you know, like an 80 GSM folded in half, takes about 160. Try running it through with that into there. It could just be the nature of the die, but I'll be totally honest, Lynn, I'm really sorry, because I'm not familiar with the butterfly and blooms. So if you want to send me some pictures through onto my Crafters Companion page, the Debbie Robinson one, send me some pictures through my direct messages, and I will have a little look so I can familiarise myself and see if I can help you further. But if that's the problem you're stricken, just make sure it's not at the top. Make sure it's a little bit further down, away from the hinges. And if you're still struggling, what cardstock are you using? And then again, if you're still struggling, maybe just shim it slightly to give it that extra little bit of pressure for it to release a little bit extra. But don't go in there heavy-handed with an extra piece of cardstock or 2. Start with a GSM of like a paperweight one, 80 GSM, perhaps fold it in half if that doesn't work. So you've got like 160 into there?
Yeah.
So just think about that. But again, Lynn, you are more than welcome to send me some pictures via my Facebook page, direct messenger service, and I will get in touch with you.
Oh, thank you, Debbie. And another possible thing, could it be that her plates are quite old and too worn?
Well, I was just going to suggest the next thing, because that is indeed a very good point, Lily. It could be that your plates are now, because they're plastic, they're plastic, which is why I always recommend having more than 1 or 2 in there. If you're using multimedia dies, 1 separate, away from your papercraft one. So you'll have a folder for your multimedia dies, a folder for your papercraft dies. But if they have warped, then it might be time to get a new one. And that may be the fact that you will then find the die cut better. So that was a good answer as well, Lily. Yeah, absolutely.
Susie's now asking off the back of that, where would she actually put the shimmer paper? Would that go inside the folder?
Inside the folder. Don't stick it on the outside.
No.
If you're going to add cardstock, then add it to the outside, but paper inside. It's not going to affect anything. And just be mindful, if your machine is straining when you're turning the handle, you've got too much in there. Take it out, because you do not want to break your machine.
No, absolutely not.
And I'm just joining that together and then sticking that down, and it almost flows.
It does.
You can barely see the join. If it annoys you a little bit, just pop something on, like some gems or a strip of cardstock over the top. So like that, okay? So you could add that over the top, and then you're not going to see it so much. However, I'm going to pause just for a second. because we're going to move on to the other decorative dies to create, and if I just bring this in onto the foreground, you can see I've used the circular, which is that lovely circular nesting die, along with the beautiful swirling hearts one as well. Because we've done this part now, the next bit we're going to do are these 3 bits. So we're going to go bing, 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 and the extra little ones there as well. Yeah, I think we're on course to finish, and then maybe do a little Q&A, or maybe put through the Gemini through its paces.
Oh, I like the sound of that for certain. Yeah, it looks like we're on track for a fabulous craft along within the time as well, which we love. Now, we were talking a little bit earlier about new crafters and items that you might need if you're brand new to die cutting. We will share with you in just a few moments some of those intricate tools as well. But we just want to say we did have that lovely comment coming from Penny about her getting her new Gemini 2. And she's come back to us. She says she used to craft many years ago. She just started again. She's retired. So she started a collection again and has already bought quite a bit. Yeah, Penny, it snowballs quite quickly, believe you me. She's bought the Bold Butterflies Complete collection as well, which is absolutely fantastic. And we've got plenty more goodies on the show for you as well. If you're looking to maybe add to your stash and start to build that stash, if you are brand new to crafting, or maybe you've been crafting for many years and just want even more goodies at, quite frankly, an absolutely incredible price. And these 3D seam builders are certainly that, an incredible price on these at just £25.60 or $28 for all 4 stamp and die sets that I'm about to show you. And these are fantastic because these have been designed to actually create your Z-fold cards, like we can see on the packaging there. We'll show you a few samples in just a moment, but first of all I want to show you the designs that you're getting as part of this collection. So you get all of your fantastic stamps, which are going to allow you to create that lovely scene with the girl on a swing. You've got the lamppost there, you've got the foliage too, and you've got all the dies which enable you to cut those stamped images out, but also some extra accessory dies there, like your fantastic archway and that fence as well. Next up we have our gorgeous butterfly borders. If you love a butterfly like me and Debbie, this is certainly the one for you. You've got the gorgeous little girl sort of walking in the woodland. It could be in an orchard, or it could be even walking through the snow if you so choose. And all of your embellishments in the stamp and the die form as well. Next up, something a little bit different, quite quirky and fun. This one is going to be ideal, I think, for kids and teenage cards as well. This being you celebrate your day. So you've got all the stamps, all the dies as well. Isn't that super fun? Bring in all those bright, vibrant colours, and that one's going to look absolutely fantastic. And then finally, we have also got our absolutely beautiful woodland beauty. Look at that. Absolutely gorgeous detail you've got within the stamps. You've got some sort of colouring stamps, as I call them, so the open line work, and you've also got some of the silhouette stamps as well. Ideal if you're creating all those inky backgrounds like we're going to be doing on that 6 o'clock craft along tonight, but also ideal in terms of the fact that you've got all of those dies included as well. So fantastic to get all of those goodies, all those amazing stamps and dies for just £25.60 or $28. Now this is the sort of intended concept with these amazing stamps and dies, where you create your Z-fold cards. You've got your fold back card with that extra fold at the bottom, which creates that fantastic fold back element. Now it's not just about creating those sorts of concepts as well, you can create lots of different other card styles as well. There we've got our beautiful dome card that we've got with this one. How about something really quite incredible and 3D, like your pop-up 3D boxes, which still fold flat for posting as well. These are just absolutely fantastic fun to get playing with, creating maybe your easel cards as well. Lots and lots of different options with these amazing stamps and dies, and an awful lot for your money when you're getting all 4 sets included as part of that collection. Now we were talking about, if you are brand new to die cutting, the sorts of tools you might need, and we have got literally the perfect bundle if you are new to die cutting. So this is the one for you if you're just starting out on this die cutting journey, because you've got all of these crafty tools included. So for £13.99 or $23.59, first up you have your set of 2 pokey tools. These are absolutely invaluable for getting all of the pieces out of those intricate dies. They are dual ended as well, and you've even got your protective sort of ends on there as well, to make sure if you've got those on your craft totes, you're not going to prick your finger if you pop your finger into the bag. Then I did mention this one earlier as well. It's your die brush tool with your foam pad. You can just run that over the back of your dies or your die cuts, and it's going to take all of those dropout pieces out with absolute ease. And to go alongside that, we're also providing a pack of your 3 different replacement heads. So once that head on that original tool is worn out a little bit more, no need to buy that full replacement system. Just interchange those heads and you are good to go once again. Then we were talking about this a little bit earlier on, our low tack tape, an absolute essential when it comes to your die cutting, but also if you're masking it off with different stamping techniques as well. 3 rolls on there included. Each roll is 75 metres of tape, so you get an awful lot of low tack tape for your money as part of that little collection. Then talking of adhesives and tapes, we've got one of our tape pens, this being your solid tape pen, so that means it's going to be super strong for your card making, your matting and layering, or for even your construction as well, because it is super strong, 22 metres or 72 feet as part of that fantastic tape pen. And then finally, just to complete this collection of all your essentials, we're actually bringing to you some of your Centura Pearl cardstock. So this is your fresh white, it's double-sided, it is fantastic construction weight, die cuts like a dream, you can stamp onto it, emboss it as well. It's just absolutely gorgeous, luxurious cardstock, and 10 sheets of that to get you started. All those goodies, all those true essentials for just £13.99 or $23.59. So we're going to go back to Debbie in just a moment, but I'm going to say a few hellos, a few more comments that we've got coming in. We've got Laurel saying, sorry she's late, but she's saying hello from a rainy Shelby, North Carolina. Pat is saying, just want to say a big thank you to Debbie for doing a scrapbook page. Absolutely, we do love a scrapbook, don't we? Lynn's saying, thank you very much for answering your question. She will do. She will give all those tips a go when it comes to the Gemini mini machine. Fred171 is also apologising for being late. Better late than never. It's lovely to have you company. Saying hello everyone. And Rhonda Crowley's Creations is saying hello from a very rainy, foggy Oak Park near Chicago. How is everyone today? Well, I'm well. Debbie, are you well?
Absolutely.
Brill.
Yeah.
And we're good to go. Back over to Debbie right now, I think.
Yeah, we're going to move on to some of my favourite dies, which are these fabulous lace nesting dies. Lace nesting frame dies, let's call them as what they are, because you've got this gorgeous frame element to them, so they all sit within each other, but then of course they create a beautiful frame. Now when it comes to scrapbooking, and I will just say, Pat, it's because of you that I've done this page, because Pat did ask me, I think she met Pat, I was talking about my Facebook Live that I'm doing this Sunday with the Cosmic Collection.
Oh yeah.
And wanted me to do a scrapbook page there, but I've got another project in mind, so because of what Pat said, I thought, oh, do you know what, I've got a craft along with die cutting, so I'm going to do a nice scrapbook page. These frames are perfect for your photos because they act as a frame, so home decor pieces as well as your card making, when you want to personalise something, they're going to sit there beautifully in there, and for me that's what I love about these, the fact that they're also intricate, lacy, detailed. For me, is just absolutely fab. So we're going to cut in 2. Now, I want a round one for the round frame, and I want that twice because I'm going to be using photos of, I will say certain members of the team, but I had to ask our Liam to cut me some more out this morning, Lily. God love him. He's been my little superstar so far. Going to cut one of those for the middle, and I'm not going to put the rest in there because I am going to I'm going to put in 2 of the smaller pieces. Okay. Each one has got 3 pieces in each of these dies. They're absolutely fabulous. Go back and watch that lovely craft along with our Lily. Stunning. How it didn't win demo of the week. Oh, I'm not going to lie. One of my favourites when I saw it. Love boxes. Although I must say, bit of controversy on Sunday.
Oh dear.
I thought I'd get it out there. I'll get off my chest. Go on. Controversy. They tried to claim this card was mine for Tuesday, and I'm like, excuse me? I did the easel draw double stacker. Yes. And it wasn't in the vote. I mean, at the end of the day, we let the boss win. However, come on, guys.
We need
to get our act together.
We do.
I was mortified. I'm thinking, that isn't my design. I mean, there was nothing wrong with it, but it wasn't mine.
Whose was it? Do we know?
I've no idea. It wasn't anything that I thought. So I'm just going to say right now, I think we should have a recount.
Oh. Well, if it gives me more chance of winning, then yeah, let's do it. Why not?
But to be fair, Lily, I'm not going to lie. I saw yours and I thought, you've nailed it this week. I just thought it were absolutely stunning. I loved how you placed them on the corner edges of those boxes. I thought it was a beautiful project. And can I just tell you, an hour, Lily?
No, mine was 2 hours.
I was going to say, I'm thinking, if you did that in an hour...
No chance.
Oh
Good grief, can you imagine?
I was just thinking same, I'm like, an hour?
No. I've got an hour tomorrow, my craft along, but that one last week was 2 hours. Yeah.
It were gorgeous,
though. Thank you.
Absolutely beautiful.
I just love these dies.
They are stunning dies.
Yeah.
And it's lovely that you can use them as a frame, each and every single one. Or then piece the pieces back in if you want to, because you can piece pieces back in. So yeah, I love them. Not gonna lie.
Yeah, yeah.
Now, what I also love, Lily, is the waist part.
Me too, yeah.
It's a perfect circle.
gorgeous,
Honestly,
isn't it?
it's just absolutely, they're fabulous. And I just think because of the so many different ways and so many different uses that you're going to be able to get out of these, for me, they're the perfect nesting die.
Oh, yeah.
I love them. I absolutely love them.
The detail with them is absolutely incredible, isn't it, as well? And pressure of that Gemini 2 means you're going to get that crisp, clean cut every single time. You're going to get that gorgeous die cut, whether you're using just your plain white multi-purpose, whether it's going to be your pattern card, maybe it's going to be some of your luxury finishes of card, like your glitter card, your mirror card. These would look absolutely amazing. Maybe in some gold sort of mirror card, maybe for something like a gold wedding anniversary. I think that would look incredible. Just love these dies, they are absolutely stunning. Details are on your screen there. For that complete collection, you're getting 18 dies in total across 6 different sets. For that Platinum Club price there, £56 or $72. An awful lot of metal for your money as part of that collection, that is for certain.
Now, I will also say about when you flip and rotate your plates, this is quite important when you are die cutting. And also as well, placement of where you put things. So for me, to stop any, and we often get asked about this, but it's all about how you place dies. So you saw me place them in the middle, I think it was. I'm going to move them around a little bit and make sure that all of the areas of the plate get cut. I think that's again something that we forget to mention. We talk about flipping and rotating. Another thing which I've just seen as well, and I'm just going to give that a quick flick with my die cleaning brush. It's important to get rid of all of the little pieces of cardstock that are left behind in your dies from your previous cut.
Okay.
Because if you leave them in, what you're asking the machine to do, and we know it's super strong, but what you're asking it to do through the cardstock is double cut, like double push through. And sometimes you can be left with not a clean cut. Does that make sense?
Yeah, yeah.
So for me, it's all about your placement. I think while I've got my large plates though, actually, I'm going to get my art onto there as well because I've got my smaller arts. But please think about where you're placing things and make sure you use all of your plate. It's a cutting point. And please make sure you use all 4 sides of it as well. There's no point just keeping, one, because if you keep one and you put your die in the same place over and over and over again, you are going to get some warping. There's no 2 ways about it because the pressure hits the same part. The rollers, when the pressure of the plates go through, are going to hit the same point over and over again. So you're going to end up with this. So it's about placing your dies all over your plates. It's getting to know your machine. I can hand on my heart say from the original through to the G2, and the only reason I upgraded, the only reason was for the extra spec, the USBs, the place for me to put my media, all of those things, and more importantly for me was that optical sensor that I can put plates in anywhere now, and from my large ones to my junior ones to my go ones, I can stick those through there. But please get to know your machine and please think about your cutting platform. Space them out, flip and rotate, move it up to the top, go into the middle, then down to the bottom. Keep doing those things, and the longevity of your plates, because they've been made of super toughened material, they're no longer what they used to be, but you will get so much more out of them if you just follow a few simple things. I honestly, hand on my heart, say for definite.
Absolutely.
So yes, and that's, I'll tell you why, Lily, because I use it all the time.
I know, you and me both, Debbie.
Yeah, and my plates, I've told you my plates at home.
Yeah.
I'll show you on Sunday when you come and join me from Facebook Live, I'll show you my plates. They're still flat. And I've been using the G2. When did we launch it? Was it last May?
I was trying to think when it was.
I haven't bought any.
Yeah. No, I've not either.
No.
And literally, you guys at home know me. As soon as I finish here at
Exactly.
work, I'm straight back in the craft room. I craft literally every single day. On a weekend, I'll be in my craft room for probably, blimey, over 12 hours in a day. And I'll be using them time and time again. Intricate dies, cutting fabric, cutting all sorts.
Yep.
I am yet to replace my plates. And it's one of those, yes, the pressure is absolutely incredible, but give yourself a helping hand. Make things as easy for yourself as you possibly can. So flip and rotate those plates. Think about your placement. It's all those things that are going to make your plates last even longer. And quite frankly, if we can save ourselves a little bit of money, save ourselves a little bit of time as well, I am all for that. That is for certain.
Absolutely. That's what it's all about, isn't it? Now I know you can hear me tapping. I'm being rather lazy. You could use your die cleaning brush. I know. It's because there's so much die cutting, Jamie. I'm so sorry. And it must be annoying the living daylights out of him. In his ear, me whack, whack, whack. I will just tell you, because when I was down at Hobby Maker, one of the lovely demonstrations, one of the lovely presenters picked me die up, and because she'd seen me do it, flicked it to the front.
Debbie, when I see people do
Oh,
that, oh my gosh.
Flat side. I was just like, no, Rosie, that's not how you do it. And I thought, if Leanne's watching, she'll have a little words with me. Debbie does this. She does this, she drops.
Some people do that, but then I worry, what if it flips over and lands on the blade?
Exactly. I'm not going to lie, I sometimes do that as well. Of course, you do have things like poker tools, and there is as well a little release hole on every single die. There is a release hole. You have to find it. You do. But you need to clean your dies as well. We do have do we have the tool on the show?
Yeah, it's as part of that bundle. Absolutely.
Because you can take your die, and of course you can just rub your I mean, obviously I've tapped quite a bit out, so there's not much left in mine, but you can of course take your brush and die clean over, and it just releases all the white bits onto the top of there. So that's one way that you can clean it. And again, you can take, and whether you pop it into the sponge or just use it with your hand, get the majority out, and the ones that haven't come out, that's when you get your poker tool out.
Okay.
That's for me one of the reasons why we use it. These die cleaning brushes, they're fabulous. Will they take every piece out? I'll be totally honest with you, no. They will take the majority out. Of course, they'll take that all out. It depends how long you want to be patient with it. But myself personally, if it gets the majority out, I think that's absolutely fine.
Yeah,
absolutely fine.
Just going back to tapping the die, just in case anybody's new, and I know we were both quite strong there in saying don't tap it blade side down. For anybody that's new, why would we not tap that die with the blade facing down? So,
and this, I know Barbara, if she's watching, she won't mind me saying this, but I used to run a craft group class. And she once took a die of mine and whacked it, and now I don't think Barbara realised her own strength, but she whacked it that heavy, like a whack.
Oh, yeah.
And it's as daft as it sounds, thin metal die, and you know what it's like. It's very difficult to do it, but it marked it, and so it took away a part of the design. So for me, if you are going to whack a die, it sounds terrible, do it from the flat side. So not the raised side, do it from the flat side, and that way you won't damage the blade. And I say blade. We all know that thin metal dies are not blades. These aren't those deep dish dies that have got a casing with a sponge and a blade inside there. Thin metal dies are thin, they are safe to handle, so your kids can handle them, your grandkids can handle them. You can run your finger across. Now, we'll say with your older dies, we're talking probably 10 years ago.
I remember them well.
You wouldn't do that.
Oh gosh, no.
It's like an emery board. Technology has moved on. And so now things are, they call it T-fal coated, don't they? Things like that, where they've got a bit more of a release mechanism. And they're smoother. They've been finished off smoother. Again, that's just down to the fact that it's times have moved on. Times have changed from the old. So you know that when you have a thin metal die, you know that you are safe to use them. And I will say that with all of our dies. Seriously, it's safe to use them.
It's one of those, it's quite funny because obviously we call it die cutting, but the actual name die cutting is actually a bit of a misnomer because we don't cut at all. It just works on pressure. So like you can see there, Debbie can easily touch that die and it's not going to cut her, but it's that incredible pressure of any die cutting machine. I know we talk about the pressure of the Gemini too. It's that unrivaled pressure. But any die cutting machine, bad or good, works on pressure. So it's that pressure that's sort of compressing the fibres of that cardstock as it goes through that machine is what it gets it to cut. So it's not even really cutting at all, it's all just working on pressure. So that's why you can actually be using your dies with your children as well, which is absolutely fantastic.
Yeah, and also as well, you'll probably know this, Lily, but cardstock can affect the die cut.
Oh yeah.
Depending on your cardstock. I know, hand on heart, without cardstock, you can die cut using the majority of our dies, you can die cut and they're released quite easily. There's some cardstocks on the market that are not so easy to release. So just think about that when you're using, I always say quality. I think sometimes it's about the quality of a product, the right tool and things like that. And that includes right cardstock.
Absolutely.
Because if you choose the wrong cardstock, life can become a little bit difficult. That's all I'm going to say on that one, because it's true. It's true, and you'll know that, Lily.
Really
and I'm pretty sure there's people out there right now who are nodding their head in agreement. Now, I've got two circular ones. I've got one love heart, because that's going to sit in the centre. waste. Is it technically waste? I mean, you could reuse it.
No.
I've also got 2 little love hearts here. Now, photos.
Okay.
So Liam's cut me some. Now I think these might be too big.
Oh.
Ooh. Ooh. I could angle that where I chop myself off and leave Jan and Corinne in together. So I think I'll do that one. Circular one. Shall we have a look? Oh, I could do myself.
Just you?
Oh, look. I'll get away with that.
Yeah.
Just size them. That's all
Yeah.
you need to think about. And you get the idea. I asked Liam to put these to 4x6, but again, it depends on where you're framing things. He just literally, if you see what I've done here, I had these printed out on photo paper as well, but these were more, they were more of a frame. So these were in the centre. So think about your photos. This was one of Sarah during birthday week, but it was this big, 4x6. So you can see with the positioning, and this is no, I mean, because Liam, God love him, has been my saviour today with photos, but there's a way around that you can do it. Now, if you are doing this, did we go with circle one with that one? Or did we go with love art?
Yeah, circle for that one.
Yeah, circle. We'll do it. In fact, you know what I could do? I could chop myself off and just use the hottie Scotty himself, couldn't I?
Oh.
And just have half of me.
No, we want both of you. No, Debbie, we can't do that. No.
However, I will tell you, photo paper, when you're doing this, let's see if I can get a little bit there.
Yeah, that looks good.
Yeah, it might be bold, but
Oh,
hey,
well.
Um,
Could have anything on his head. He could be wearing a hat for all we knew. Could have a cowboy hat on.
I'm just going to hold that down and I'm going to run this through like I would do with any normal regular, because this is photo paper, but of course photo paper's got a bit of a coating to it. So when you're using a coating, and I'll show you when this comes out, because if it does the same as what you did with me at home, and I'm not worried about the fact that I haven't like covered the whole of them, some of the dyes in that plate. It won't make too much of a difference, I promise you. But what it allows you to do is, if I just remove that for a second.
Oh, look
I think we get away with that one, won't we?
Yeah.
That's okay. That's okay. I think my Corinne one though. Oh, actually, let's have a look. Now, can you see here where it's like in there? If I just give you a little, and I would say give it a little smack, but you don't need to. Because it's coated and it's got that photo, it practically comes out.
Oh,
and
yeah.
all you need to do is do that clean. Now I'm going to do the smack, Jamie.
There we go.
There we go. Just to clean that out. Because the thing is, I'm not worrying about the detail in the photo. What I am doing, and again, flip reverse. Let's have a look where we're going to position this. Should I have?
Oh, we're going to cut off.
We can get out for me.
No,
It's
we
fine.
can't cut you off, Debbie. It's your scrapbook
it's
page.
fine. Honestly, it's all right. We'll get away with that. Because what we're looking at is that part of it. So I
Okay.
could potentially push that up and have just our lovely Corinne and
No,
yeah, we'll do
Deb,
that.
no, Debbie, we
it's
can't do
fine.
that.
Honestly, it's fine.
Oh, dear. This is cruel.
It's all about choosing the right pictures for these and choosing that framing. But like I said, our lovely Liam, an angel, he's been an angel today, an absolute angel, printing me. Because I've not only done this today, I've also done a special bit of filming. After I had my lunch, did a special bit of filming as well. So, he had to print me some more pictures because I haven't got any. Now, can you see? We've got our 2 pictures. Do you know what? I'm actually quite happy with that.
Yeah, that looks nice.
And I'll just chuck my little smile away.
Oh.
Bye-bye, Debbie. Bye-bye.
Oh.
And I've got my love heart, because again, that's going to be sandwiched into there. Now, I'm just going to bring this in. I'm not going to stick anything down just yet. We've got a bit of time, so we're okay. But what we're going to do is we're going to position these into place. We'll put the photos in last. We'll position these into place. And we'll decide where we're going to pop every one of us. And I've got me a couple of little hearts. However, I've just remembered I want another 2 of those. So I'm going to do that little bit now. You've seen me do it once. You don't need to see me do it again. Can I be doing that while you're maybe reading some comments or some other things, Lily?
Absolutely. Sounds like a plan to me, but before we read any more comments, before we go on a little break, I want to share with you the details of that beautiful collection of lace nesting dies that Debbie has just been showcasing. I was actually lucky enough last Saturday to actually have the craft along with these, which I was super excited about, because you know what I'm like for a nesting die. I absolutely adore my nesting dies. And the beauty of these is that we're bringing in all that intricate lacy detail as well. So if you want to bring in some real finesse, some real delicacy and intricacy to your projects, then this is the collection for you. all 6 die sets, 18 dies in total as part of this collection. It's coming to you today for £56 or $72. Now first up, let's start off with that beautiful swirling heart frame, that one that Debbie's just been using as part of that demonstration. In each and every single one of these 6 die sets, you are getting 3 dies in total. So you're getting your outer, your middle and your tiny little diddy one in the centre. Love the fact that we've got the detail on the outer of that large one, and then on the 2 small ones we've actually got the detail on the inner. So it just gives you a little bit more variety, a little bit more interest on each and every single one of those designs. Next up, then we have 2 different circular designs as part of this collection. So the one that Debbie's just been using here is our beautiful delicate doily frames. Once again, 3 different circles, 3 different sizes, but 3 different lacy designs on all 3 of those dies as well. And they do cut the aperture out of the middle in one pass through that die cutter machine as well. Ideal for your shaker cards, for your scrapbook pages, for framing photos, for framing sentiments, stamped images, lots of different options with all of these gorgeous decorative nesting dies. Next up, we've got another of our 2 circular designs, this one being our lace doily frame. This one's ideal for mixing and matching perhaps with Art Deco themed items. Maybe it's going to be that Sarah Signature Roaring 20s collection that works a treat with that particular sort of design that we've got here. Next up, I think this might be one of my favourites, but I say that about all of them, so I can't decide. And the beauty of the fact that with this collection you get all of them too, so you don't need to choose. But this one is your ornate oval frame. It's got almost like a cameo look to this one. If you want it to be quite vintage in design, that's going to be an ideal one to go for. Maybe you've got old black and white photos or sepia photos. They would look incredible in the centre of those frames as well. Next up, we've got one of our square designs, which is our beautiful floral lace frames. I'm thinking you can maybe even weave some thin ribbon or embroidery thread through there and do a bit of threading. That would look equally fabulous as well. And then finally, we've got our antique frames, which of course are going to work portrait or landscape, depending on your designs. An awful lot of frames as part of this collection. You're getting 18 dies in total across those 6 different die sets for £56 or $72. An absolutely fantastic collection of dies. And you can see with that demonstration that Debbie, this craft along that we're doing at just the moment, it looks absolutely amazing for your scrapbook pages as well. But we're going to give you a few moments to check out those baskets. So get yourself over to the website, maybe have a little peruse over that website, maybe you're looking at the January sale, or maybe you're picking up some of the bargains that we've got on today's show. However you're choosing to shop, just get those baskets checked out and get those amazing goodies on their way to you. We'll be back in just a couple of minutes to continue with this fantastic craft along.
When it started about 20 years ago, probably a bit longer because I've always been quite crafty, but I got into scrapbooking. When my youngest daughter was born, I decided to do scrapbooking. I got all this amazing crafty stuff that I put into all these pages. Really, I started getting into card making probably about 15 years ago, and then that was it. I have so many people that inspire me, and I have to say, and I'm not just saying it because I'm a crafter's companion, but Sarah Davies was one of the first people that I got to meet in the craft industry. My mum got me into crafting, so that's my main inspiration. So you can imagine how excited I get when I get to meet Sarah Davies. I mean, when I then got on the design team, when I got to work with Sarah closely, everything from then on was amazing. But my mum is definitely, or was, the most inspirational person in my life through my crafting. Gossip, I can't give you any gossip. I mean, that's between us. Do you know what? We were just literally in the green room. Everyone, it's just been done out, and John's been in there, and it's become this place where everyone just comes in, and it's just this gossip fest, and it's amazing because we're all such good friends, genuinely, and I know you all know that. But we have the most amazing time between us all. Me and Craig bounce off each other because we're very similar in our crafty ways. But also me and Debbie, we're full of giggles, and me and Jan and Corinne and Michelle, everybody that I work with is amazing, on the set and off the set. It's just incredible to work at Crafters Companion. Non-craft facts. Well, I have to say I'm a bit of a singer and a dancer. I'm not good at either. When I was little, I did win a disco dancing competition for the school, and I come second to a Michael Jackson tribute, which I was quite gutted about because I thought I might have won that. So I used to do a bit of disco dancing, and I love dancing. I used to be part of an adult dance group, and it's something I'd like to take lessons.
Here at Crafters TV, it couldn't be easier to get social with us. Whether you're watching on Facebook or YouTube, on your TV or tablet, you can get so close to the action, it's like you're in the studio with us. You can ask questions about products or crafty techniques. Get hints and tips from our expert demonstrators. Plus, share pictures of your crafty makes with our amazing community. Crafters TV, getting you closer to the crafty action.
Hello and welcome back to Crafters TV. We've got just over 20 minutes left on this craft along. It's the middle of 3 craft alongs today, of course. We've had 2 days of craft along yesterday and today. So an awful lot of inspiration where you can actually create these projects from start to finish. We show you that entire project, how you get started, all the cutting, all the trimming, all the scoring, all those stages. So you can literally, as the name suggests, craft along, which is absolutely what it's all about. But this one we're focusing on die cutting. We have asked you guys at home to get all those questions in. So if you've got any worries or woes when it comes to die cutting, maybe it's plate combinations, maybe it's sort of things that you need to know as a beginner when you start on that die cutting journey, then absolutely get those questions in. We've got another 20 minutes left on this show, but we've got another craft along coming up at 6 p.m. tonight. So if you want to get more questions in related to die cutting, I know our show at 6 is all about ink pads, but you can still get some more questions in because me and Debbie will be back for another 2 hours tonight. Got a few more people who have joined us a little bit later on in this show. We've got Bianca is joining us from Hamburg in Germany. Wow. We've got Jane Adams joining us from Viva Las Vegas. Wow, somewhere I would love to go. That is for certain. We've got a lovely shout out as well. I've got to read this one out. This is coming in from our lovely Shadaya. She's saying a great shout out to Julia in the customer services department who promptly answered my concerns. Note that customer service at CC is greatly appreciated. They are amazing, aren't they? So a big thank you to all the guys and gals in our customer service team. They are absolutely incredible at dealing with any of our little crafty woes. They are always there to help us, which is fantastic. Jenny is loving the lace nesting dies, as we all are. We're having a little bit of a backwards and forwards between myself, Rachel and Susie on the comments. Susie's saying she doesn't need the lace nesting dies, Lily. She doesn't need them, she shouldn't need them. But the more I show them to her, the more she wants them. And I've said, Susie, you need them. And then Rachel's even come in and saying, just to make you feel better about having all the nesting dies, because I think we all know, yeah, I have to have all of the nesting dies. Honestly, I don't have a problem. Something like that. Anyway, back over to Debbie to get this project done. I'm looking forward to seeing those finishing touches come together. It's looking amazing so far.
Thank you very much. Now, I've had to do a couple of little tweaks towards the end of this because in the original one, which we did show you, I did, because of my colour scheme, thought that the floral elegance worked beautiful with this pad.
It does.
Now, what I will just say is that obviously I didn't have the blue. So I can't use it because I've got green and I think it'll clash. So I'm not going to use that. Now, if you are following this theme design and that particular colour scheme, blue gems to match the blue.
Oh, yeah, of course.
And the blue floral elegance topper pad, which you can absolutely use as well. And it's all about those extra little details. However, I'm not going to let it put me off because we've got a little area here now. We've got 2 photos ready to go. I've got my solid heart, because I am going to place the heart back in so that the green Forever Friends will stick out. And that, if you want though, you could put another photo of someone. So a picture of one of the other team members. Lily, you could go in there with Ben. Debbie could go in there. You know, there's also, because I did use Sarah and Debbie this with mine. But absolutely, put whatever you want into there. What it is just about composing and that composition. So because of that, that's why I always do it before I actually stick it down. So I'm going to come in. Dotty tape pen all the way around. Dotty tape pen will be your bestest friend if you are using intricate die cuts. You get no glue messiness seeping through the other end. As I've mentioned it once or twice, you know what I'm like, I just say it as it is. It's a little bit like, the bit that you don't want to come out. So I'm just going to pop that down before I stick. So the minute you contact and start rubbing that is when it's going to stick. So before I do that, I'm going to make sure I've got my composition right of where everything I want it to go. So I'm going to come all the way around, and you know how sticky it is when you can't get your finger off.
Oh dear. A lot of times I do that. I tell you what, the worst one is if you put some red liner tape on the back of something and you don't realise you put it on your mat face down, and then it's literally stuck fast to your mat. You think, blimey me, how am I going to get this off? sticky stuff, that's for
Isn't it?
sure.
It is definitely sticky stuff. So what I'm just doing, I'll just bring this down so you can see, is I'm kind of eyeballing, you know, a little bit over that scallop, a little bit over that scallop, because don't forget the pictures are going to go in there. But before I do that, I want to make sure my love heart has a little bit of a crossover as well. And I quite like that, where it integrates into one. So I think I might just a little fraction over to that side. And then I can stick that down, and I know it's not going to go anywhere now, and give it that little friction, that little heat, and that glue adheres itself. But what it doesn't do is leave any of the glue bogies, as I call them, coming through.
Yep.
It's not seepage.
Gluey bogies, we don't like those.
We don't want any of that. And then again, I'm just going to make sure. Now, did I put my glue on that one? Yeah, I did. Yeah, of course you did, Debbie. There we go. I'm happy with where I'm coming with this as well.
Looks
and
good to
just
me.
pop that round. Now, before I actually put the love heart on, I'm going to get my pictures into place.
Okay.
Because I want to make sure that they're down, because some of that might go over the picture. Can you see? It's gone a little bit into my teeth, a little bit over onto jam.
Yeah.
I know that Jamie said, don't cover yourself up even more. Let's try it that way then. I think that'll be better. Or maybe then I might be covering a bit of Craig
Oh,
up.
let's have a look.
I can't cover Craig up, can I? Can't cover the hottie Scotty.
Oh, it's
what
fine.
was that, Jamie?
Just looks a bit like he's got an eye patch on, that's all it
Should we do
is.
it that way?
Yeah, I think
let's
so.
do it that way. Why not? Debbie, it helps to take the cap
Oh,
off.
I did that myself the other day.
How many times I do that at home?
And the same with your glues, your all-purpose or your tacky, and you squeeze, and you think, I'm sure this is full of glue, why isn't this coming out? You just not screwed the lid off, that's all it is. Every time.
Oh dear. Honestly, I do wonder about myself sometimes. It's the same way when you're using this as well. I don't know if you can see, but I'm giving it a little flick.
Yep.
You still need to break that adhesion, although I'm not going to lie, 30 metres has been a game changer for me.
Oh, yeah.
And then I'm going to come in and do the same with the love heart. Now I've got those into position, and I think we might need to change this over, you know.
Oh,
'cause
okay.
I think, let me just have a look, see if there's one more. Because we did have the box, but because we switched studios, I'm having to, revert to the other one. Because, of course, now they're refillable.
They certainly are, which we
Yeah, and
love.
you'll know when you get into the end, because you'll see it where you start...
Oh, again, Debbie.
Oh, no, it's large on this side. I can see that's about 3/4 of the way through now. We've still got a little bit left on that one, so I know I'm good to go. Whereas the other one is literally at the end. And that's when you're going to refill. Do we have the things that we were talking about that should have been launched the other week? Have they come in yet?
They're coming in a few weeks, Debbie. I believe they're coming next month.
Are we allowed to talk about it?
No.
Oh, right, okay, I won't say anything then.
They're
Whoopsie
coming.
daisy.
We've got lots of exciting things coming, that is for certain. We've got an amazing collection launching next week, I will say.
What was that?
We've got an amazing collection launching next week, week Friday.
Week Friday?
Yeah.
Lily, you're going to have to remind me because I can't remember. What? I'm not very good at lip reading. Lily, talk to me after. No,
Yeah.
talk to me after because I can't remember.
You know what it is, because you're in that day, but you're not in the middle show.
Oh my God. Oh my God. Yes, I am.
Do you know which one it is?
Because I had to place an order because obviously I'm on the wake-up call.
Yes.
I get that little sneaky peek.
Yep.
And I'm in the show later on. Yeah,
You are.
Absolutely. Oh, I forgot all about that, Lily.
Yeah, that's next week.
It's because I've got my Cosmic at the
Oh,
Hobby
yeah.
Maker on Monday because we haven't launched it down there yet. So yeah, I'm so pleased you reminded me then because I completely forgot.
Yes,
How could I forget?
it's amazing.
Well,
It's
it's got big
gorgeous.
guns out. Let's just say the big
Absolutely,
guns are
yeah.
coming out. I'm having a bit of I'm having a bit of time off in the afternoon. I don't think I really am because I've got something filming with little Sam. Well, not little Sam, the other Sam.
Yep.
We've got that many Sams, I can't keep up.
I know it's too many. Isn't there? Too many.
Samu,
Sammy.
Sam A and Sam K.
Yeah.
No, I'll get confused if I start saying that. I will get so confused.
Oh dear.
Oh dear. That's how I refer to him. Nicholas, Sam, and the other Sam.
Other one. Yeah, just the other one. Yeah. He hasn't got his own title. It's just the other one.
Yeah,
Oh,
he were
dear.
the first actually, weren't he? I should
Yeah,
should
he was.
remember that.
Yeah.
Now then, are you ready for the last little bit?
We
because
are.
obviously, we're going to add a few gems, but I want a sentiment in there. Of course, if you're using this as a scrapbook page, that could be another picture. You could even put teeny weeny ones. You know those little pocket-sized ones you can get?
Oh, yeah.
You could even put little teeny weeny ones behind the back of there.
Oh.
However, I have got one of our gorgeous Swash.
Swash.
Swash sentiments, Debbie, swash sentiments. Now, these were not on Shop the Show. There are some fabulous sentiments on there, but I couldn't quite get it to fit my project. Oh my
Okay.
God, I'm saying that word now.
Project, Debbie. Where are you
I
from?
was down Robbie Maker and Mr. Keith Smith, a fellow Yorkshire man.
Oh yeah, he is
kept
as well.
saying project, and I'm like,
Oh, see, he's
it
West
was
Yorkshire.
catchy.
Yeah.
And I'm like,
Yeah.
it's a project.
It is,
But
yeah.
he said he declared all of Yorkshire called it a project.
No,
And
they
I'm like,
don't.
no,
No.
we don't.
No.
But
Keith,
since
you're
I
wrong.
heard him say it, Lily, I can't.
Project. No, it's not got a hyphen in the middle. It's one word. Project.
Project. Now, I will tell you again, even though this is a nice scalloped swash die, it did not need, guess what?
Magnetic shim?
No,
Wow.
doesn't need it. All I'm going to
impressive.
do is just release the, oh, come on, I'll get you out there. There you go. Now, this is when, of course, now I'm heavy-handed, so I'm not going to do it. I'm going to switch over to a different type of glue
Okay.
because I am the most heavy-handed of the craft experts.
Oh.
I am, I'm just clumsy. A dotty tape pen for me, I know for a fact, I am too heavy-handed and I'll end up ripping it. Now, if you are more confident, and I've seen you guys, see Michelle, I've seen you, Lily, you're absolutely fine with it. I'm rubbish at it. So, for me, it is good old-fashioned tacky glue,
Okay.
decanted into a bottle. I actually, now this is my method. You can pop a little bit onto here
Yeah.
and then dip it in. I drop a little bit onto the back of my hand. I don't know if you're the same, Lily.
I have to say I can't do it.
I'm
I just,
okay because I do like peeling off as well because you will
Yeah.
get a covering of glue.
You do.
But I'm just going to put a little bit onto the back of my hand and tap my sentiments into them to pick up, and it's not the excess glue, it's not picking up. So you know for a fact you're not going to get what we talk about all the time. And again, it could go across, it can go over the central part of that, and even though it's an intricate set of dies, looks lovely
it does.
over there. And of course, forever friends. Now, if you are at this stage, I would say to you, get that off before it dries, because otherwise you'll be peeling it off and giving yourself a little bit of a waxing at the same time. So that's all I'm going to say. So I clean mine straight off. But again, just remember, it is a glue. It is a low water content glue. So it's not a heavily watered content glue. It's a low water content. But of course, just hair on the side of caution because if for allergies and things like that. However, last couple of little finishing touches. Now I've had to kind of switch this up a little bit because I was using blue, but I can't.
yeah.
Well, I could potentially use blue.
Yeah, 'cause there is some
it would
glue in
pick out
there.
the blue that's in there.
Yeah.
But I've got some green, but I've also got Aurora Borealis.
Oh, Debbie.
Oh,
Are those
I
Venetian
mean,
Grace?
I mean,
Love them.
which way? Oh, no, I'm going to go with these because I
Oh,
think
go
that
on then.
picks up all the colours on there.
It does, doesn't it? Yeah,
Yeah.
you're right. Yeah.
So I'm going to have. Now I got these from one of our collections.
Venetian Grace.
Thank you.
I'll
very
tell you now.
much. How did you know that?
Because
Lily, you
I,
just whipped that right out there.
I'm a fellow gem addict, Debbie, as we well know.
Oh
I'm
my
a
God, I'm totally obsessed with gems.
You and me both, Debbie. And the other pack that you pulled out, I know exactly where they're from as well. I've got the same in my craft stash. Oh dear, Debbie. I just love gems. I think they are the
I
finishing
am
touch, aren't
addicted.
they? Oh,
Totally addicted. I used to make cards for the store. And every single one of my cards, people used to know which one of my cards because I used the gems on
yeah,
it.
yeah.
And I had a certain set of gems. I mean, my friend's moved away now, so I can't feed my crafty addiction with gems.
Oh.
Because she no longer lives in Barnsley. She's moved down south. How very dare she?
Oh, I know.
So I can't get me gems, but I'm starting to dwindle because I made sure I bought tons of them.
Oh, yeah,
before
as
she
you do.
left. But yeah, I'm starting to run low, and I think I need to get hold of some more. And I'm just knowing, when do you stop? When do you stop?
Well, it's a good question, isn't it?
Stand
I haven't got the
away
answer
from
myself,
there,
but-
because
Oh, wow.
we completed our craft along
Project.
Thank you.
There we go.
Project.
That is absolutely stunning. Look at that.
There you go.
Creates literally start to finish. That is beautiful, Debbie.
And all
Wow.
focused on die cutting, of course.
Certainly was. Wow. And along the way, you answered a lot of questions as well. We've packed a lot into this 2 hours, haven't we? A couple of questions just to end the show, Debbie. A lot of people loving the project, as we all are. Lillian is asking, she was wondering, what do you do with a scrapbook page? That is a great question, Lillian.
So my scrapbook pages, at the moment now, Lily, and I'm going to have to own up to this, because I make a lot, I've got quite a bit of a hefty pile going off. However, you can make your own albums. I don't know if you remember, we've had some spines that you can make as well. You can make your own albums. All you need to do is just take down the sizing, so you would scale to size. However, I've got at home a scrapbook book ready for all of these to go into my pages. My grandkids made me one. And they started with their little scrapbook pages and then left me loads blank so that I can fill them up as the years go along, and I've got quite a lot of them heavily to pop into there. So there's a big pile of theirs that need to go into that. But mine go into a book album. I will admit, and if you have watched me on a live, you will see some of them scattered around my craft room because I can't bear to put them away and then come back. So I have them out there. So it's entirely up to you, because these are nice home decor pieces. You can frame that and hang that in your wall, living room, craft room, wherever it is that you want to have it, as a home decor piece, and buy yourself a 12 by 12 frame, or simply attach some ribbon to the back and then hang it. That's what you could do if you wanted to.
Absolutely.
But all of mine, Lillian, the plan is they're going into my scrapbook book, ready to store all of my memories of all my cherished people in my life.
Oh, lovely. I have to say, one of the things I like to do with mine is I quite like to give them as gifts. So I'll create the individual scrapbook page. I'll get a nice deep box frame, a 12 by 12 inch box frame, and I'll give that as a gift. I think that's quite a nice thing to do, as well as popping them into your albums. Lots of love coming in for that fantastic scrapbook page that Debbie's just put together. Beautiful scrapbook page, beautiful. That looks fabulous. Beautiful page, stunning. All of you are loving that inspiration, which is absolutely fabulous. We do, of course, have another craft along coming up at 6 p.m. tonight. I think I'm actually going to craft along myself, which I'm quite looking forward to. It's going to be almost like a class with Debbie, which I'm pretty excited about. But for now, we are talking all things die cutting. And just to end the show, we have got a few more goodies that we want to tempt you with. If you're looking for a real bargain for some brand new dies, perhaps you are new to die cutting and you want to start to build that stash of dies, then this is going to be the absolutely ideal way to start. At the end of the day, we send cards because we've got something to say. So why not pop your sentiment as the focus, as that focal point onto your cards? And this collection allows you to do that with total and utter style. This is our image sentiment die collection. You're getting 10 dies in total across 5 different sentiments for just £11.20 or $15.20, which is amazing value for money. So first up, we have got our Count Your Blessings, and these all feature your sentiment in the middle with that beautiful detail around the edge. You have your detailed die, which is what you can see in white there, and then you also have the outer matte die, which you can choose to use or not. That choice is entirely yours. So Count Your Blessings is first, and then we have our beautiful Thank You for Everything You Do. Then we move on to our It's Time to Celebrate with Cake. Lots of cake, which I adore that one. I think that's fabulous. If friends with flowers, I would pick you. And then finally, we've got, where are we? Let's have a look. Your friendship means the world to me. Need to get my eyes in for that one. There you go. What you can be doing with that, though, is picking out the colours with maybe your inks or a little bit of paper piecing, and it makes that sentiment, makes that saying a little bit more obvious if you want to go down that sort of technique route with that one. £11.20 or $15.20 for that complete collection of your image sentiment dies. Now, next up, I just want to quickly squeeze in another collection of your fabulous sentiment dies. This is our layerable cuttable sentiment dies, 4-piece collection with a whopping 35 dies in total for, quite frankly, an absolutely ludicrous Platinum Club price today of £5.60, yep, £5.60 or $7.20. Wow, absolute steal of a deal on this one. So you've got all your separate dies, you've got your backing plate as well. Basically cut all those different elements in different colours, build that up, and you've got that fantastic layered sentiment. First up, Let's Party. Then we have got Just For You. Then we move on to our Hip Hip Hooray, and then finally we have got our Thanks a Bunch. They look absolutely incredible in all those different finishes, textures and colours of cardstock. They're going to make adding those sentiments an absolute breeze and a statement onto your finished cards. Wow, Debbie, what a fantastic craft along to squeeze it into the 2 hours.
Thank you very much. Are you ready to have a little quick sneak peek? Quick sneak peek. And I mean quick. You need some water reactive ink pads, you need your gold shimmer ink pads or your shimmer ink pads, whichever one you're going to do, and your opaque ones, because these are the 3 cards that we're going to make in the next craft along. I hope you're ready, Lily. We're going to do some water reactive,
Ooh,
we're going to do
wow.
some opaque, and we're going to do some gold shimmer as well. And they're the things that we're going to do in that next craft along.
Oh, I cannot wait, Debbie. I'm going to be crafting along, maybe for one of the projects, maybe all 3. I'm not quite sure, but you're going to have to make sure you join us back here at 6 o'clock UK time. We have got another 2 hours. It's all about those ink pads. So lots of different ink pads we will be covering as part of that show. Thank you for your company for this one, and we will see you in just about an hour's time for lots more crafting fun and quite a few bargains thrown in as well. Take care. Bye-bye.